Hi. Welcome back to the D8 Dungeon charity stream. Thank you so much for everyone who's been sticking by us so far. We're going to be playing some Mouse Ritter now. And my name is Philippa Moore. And can I just check, is everything okay with our stream? It's all good? Yep, all good. Sorry, I just wanted to check that. So we're going to be playing some Mouse Ritter. My name is Philippa Moore, and we've got some lovely players here are going to be playing our adventurous mice. So what we could do first is if we could go around. I'm going to go on my screen, which might look a little bit different from the layout. So I've got Charlie first. So could you tell us who you are, your pronouns, and then your mouse and their pronouns, and what they used to do before they became a mousy adventurer? So Charlie, tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Charlie. My pronouns are he and they, and my mouse is Pearl Butterball, who uses she, her pronouns, and she, in a former life, was a tin miner.
Excellent. Next up, I have Dahi.
Hello, hi, I'm Dahi. I use they, them pronouns. I am playing the role of Blossom Dreadtail, who in another life was a prison guard because all the Dreadtails are prison guards. But Blossom did not want a part of that. They use they, them pronouns, and they just wanna have fun. They just wanna have a good time. Prison, ew.
Next up, we have Eilish.
Hello, I'm Eilish. I am playing Lily Danger. She is she was a noble mouse. Now she is a pauper noble mouse. So she's got a lot of airs and graces, but none of the money to back it up.
Excellent. And next, Monica.
Hi, I'm Monica. I'm playing Juniper Winterholm. She, her pronouns. Juniper was a troubadour, and she realized she had no life experience to make stories to sing about, so she's going on an adventure.
Excellent. And last but by no means least, Nikki.
Hello there, I'm Nick, he, they, and I will be playing Horatio Bater, former worm wrangler, and he is extremely easy to spot for his extremely garish and atrocious fedora hat that he wears everywhere he goes.
Excellent. So just before we get started, a reminder, we'll be doing lots of giveaways, and this time on this game we're giving away 4 sets of Dakota Irish dice. So look in the chat for how you can enter that giveaway and do get involved. And as we have been doing in a lot of the games today, because we are raising money for Trans Lifeline, we have some ways that you can affect the game, which should hopefully also appear in the chat at some point, which are various ways such as giving our players advantage or extra help on their roll, but also you can make us roll on the encounter table for a random encounter to happen, or you can even roll on the treasure table to help our mice get a little treasure to help them along. So if you feel like donating and you want to interact, that's a good way to do that as well. Okay, so and as I should say, Mouse Ritter is by Isaac Williams, and the base rules are free on Itch.io as well if you want to have a look yourself. Okay, I think we should get into it. So it's the height of summer. A lovely warm day, and as little mice, you're used to keeping out of the way in the daytime of all of those big giants that walk around in their large clumpy shoes and occasionally get into these strange silver machines and drive around and make lots of noise and rubbish. But there is one time of year when you do interact with them, or rather you follow after them when they've gone to bed, and that is during the summer fete. So in the little village where you live alongside all of these strange giants, every year they gather in their big hall and they bring all of these wonderful goodies together that they then swap with each other, and they eat large amounts of sugar and sandwiches and little cocktail sausages and cheese. And at the end of the day, they leave a lot of it on the table and they go home, and it's just sort of there. And who wouldn't want any of these lovely goodies? And you have heard it said through the strange tones of the giants that this is called a jumble sale. For Americans, I don't know if you have jumble. So this year is a little bit different. we start with you all at the end. To say, would you mind very much? It's actually going to be our wedding next week, and we have a few things we'd really like if you could help us find some of these items from the Jumble Cell, because the giants are so good at helping us find these, having these. Oh, apparently I'm freezing a little bit. Excuse me, everyone on stream. I don't know if we want to check anything there. I'll keep sort of talking slowly and try not to move too much. Can you have been able to hear me so far? Okay, cool. I'll kind of keep talking as we check on it. Great. Okay. So Coriander and Flaxy have gathered you and said, would you mind terribly if you could help us find a few things? We need obviously something special for our wedding. We need a bit of cake, obviously. Some nice decorations. The sparklier, the better, would be wonderful. And just anything that can make the dresses and the outfits of the guests look nicer would be really great as well, if you wouldn't mind. Oh, also, says Flaxy, my Uncle Burdock went out this morning before the start of the Jumble Sale and he hasn't come back yet. So, if you find him, could you please make sure he gets home okay? They sort of said, thank you. We hope you have a good time. Do you have any questions or anything you want to check before you go? Asks Coriander.
So, like, are all of these humans have left behind like lovely little sparkly things that you want us to go pick up?
Well, among the other things, I mean, there might be some things that you would want as well, of course. But just while you're out there, if you see anything that would help, we'll give you 50 pips each.
Oh, yeah. Well,
if you can bring them back.
And just to confirm, everything we find that's not on this list we can keep.
Oh yes, keep it all, or sell it for more pips. Yes.
Interesting. Great.
And you just see like Blossom just kind of goes to themselves, just like, okay, this is my first gig as a stylist. Oh my god, this is going to be so good.
What does Uncle Burdock look like, so we can keep an eye out?
Oh, he has a red jumper, and he has a little bow tie, and he has white fur as well.
If we find him, can we keep the jumper and the bow tie? Can we sell? You know what? I'll let him decide, and then.
Yeah, I think if he's wearing it, no. If he's taking it off, see how he feels.
Okay.
Dibs the bow tie.
Okay, so hopefully on our stream we should see a lovely little map or layout of the Jumble Sale from the Giants' perspective, which for players you can see it in the Discord if you'd like to have a look. And they've left a couple of tables out covered in various items of bric-a-brac. There's bits of clothing in one pile, there's some old board games and little trinkets, and there is a big table of half-eaten cake, some put up away in Tupperware, some left out because they're obviously going to come and split it all amongst themselves tomorrow, and a bin full of little plates and plastic bags and things as well. But obviously as a mouse, imagine this view a lot lower down. You are currently along the side of the wall on the very old parquet floor with lots of scuffs on it from small children running around at birthday parties. And you are underneath the legs of the table. Things that you can see from this angle, you can see there are a few clothes and things hanging down. There's also some cardboard boxes full of extra things that couldn't fit on the tables, including things like a basketball, some books, cushions, things like that as well. What do you want to do?
I will take point. I step up and flick my fedora hat, I mean, and take out my heavy hook that once upon a time I used to wrangle worms and tangle with them. I will keep an eye out for any critters. Any that comes up, I'll give them a good old swipe.
Oh, very good. I'm just gonna maybe see if I can find a way up onto some of these tables with the nice shiny little trinkets and the little fabrics and things. And that's what I'll try to do.
What are the table legs made of?
They are that very cheap. I think cheap wood. They're IKEA tables.
So not metal.
No, I think they're like the wooden, but they do tuck away. But it's that really like flimsy wooden ones that obviously rock around a lot when you use them.
Okay, cool.
I think Juniper's gonna try to go for the cake. I love a wedding. I'm very excited to help. And leftover cake right in front of me, so we're gonna try to scurry up the table leg.
So with Blossom and Juniper finding some ways up. So I think let's start with Blossom and then we'll look at what Juniper's doing on the other side. So looking for ways, kind of getting closer to the sides of the table leg. Yeah, you can see it is wood, but there are a few like little nails sticking out of the wood that maybe you could climb, but they're quite far apart from a mouse. You think it might be a bit difficult without, some additional planning. DM voice, this would take a save. But you can see that the boxes and things are maybe a little bit lower to the ground, and there are some things in there that you could maybe see if you could grab hold of or jump up to. Similarly, the same situation with the cake table for Juniper. You can see that there is the bin and the bin bags quite near that you could maybe try and scramble up. But as you're kind of like looking around the edge of the table legs towards it, you can see some movement. You can see what looks like a back full of prickles as a little hedgehog, actually quite a large hedgehog in comparison to mice, snuffles around some of the rubbish and seems to be delving in to find a snack, and reappears with a small cocktail stick with some cheese on the top and starts nibbling it.
It's trying to steal what is ours. Should I kill it?
Maybe we'll just like leave it. We can leave it alone. There's plenty of stuff here for everyone. Also, it looks really dangerous, and like this armor looks good, but like I don't think it's going. That's a lot of spines.
Danger's my middle name.
That's nice.
Horatio Danger Baiter. I made it up just now.
That's lovely. It's not mine, so you'll be doing that alone.
Well, it's Lily's last name.
Oh, that's true. Oh, you must be related.
God, I hope not. He must be from the other side of the family.
Yeah, Horatio will just keep an eye on the hedgehog and make sure it doesn't get any closer to our little group. Just standing guard.
Yeah, kind of.
I think Pearl would watch Horatio to make sure nothing goes down.
Two mice and then the hedgehog. You can see the hedgehog currently hasn't noticed you. It seems pretty intent on troughing down on this little cheddar cube, but does occasionally seem to be looking up to the cake table, and you can see some movement of some other little creatures on the top, but from down here you can only see the edge of some ears and some little whiskers poking over.
Are they large ears?
No, they're very small ears, actually, even smaller than mice ears.
Oh. I think Lily's gonna refer to the list and go looking for some sparkly decorations, maybe in the cardboard box.
Okay, so maybe Blossom helping a little bit as well as you're all.
Yeah,
observing
Blossom's going to help
hedgehog.
with that. Not kind of thinking about ways that they can make the climb to the top of the table for like with all of the other kind of sparklies easier.
Yeah,
but it's going to help for the cardboard box first because it's lower to the ground.
So you sort of scrabble up the side of the cardboard box, which is a bit easier than a table because you can dig your claws into it, and you can see it's mostly full of very large books, which you can sort of totter along the pages a little bit, but there's also some like old ties and folders and things. It seems mostly stuff that you wouldn't want to sell at the Jumble sale, but people have donated it anyway. For example, a very large set of wooden decorative spoons. But as you kind of clamber to the top, both of you see a pair of fishnet tights dangling over the edge from the clothes pile on the table.
Ooh, we can probably climb this.
Interesting. How would we get it onto the table leg, though?
No, like is that thing going up onto the table, or is it
Yeah,
in?
it's like they're dangling down, and the tops
Ah.
of the tights are on the table. Well,
Yeah.
you can't really see, but yeah, you can see it's
What if
dangling
it's-
off the end of the table.
What if it's not connected at the top, though?
I mean, we could do one person at a time, and then the person who's up there could maybe try and secure it together or something. That could work.
Great. You go first.
But you seem so eager for danger. Maybe I'm really good at watching things. I'm really good at like seeing people do stuff and overseeing. Like that's what I did at the prison that I was actually good at. I was good at like telling people what to do and stuff. So maybe you do that instead.
She's going to take out her daggers while he's talking. Her daggers being two little pieces of glass shards, and start twirling them in her finger and saying,
Ooh.
"Yes."
Okay, and I start climbing.
Yeah, you start climbing. They kind of sag a little bit as you're going, but actually they're quite like solid to climb up because you're so small, and you're able to start climbing up the table. Meanwhile, Horatio and Pearl, you see Horatio, see that that hedgehog has also got a tiny fedora on. It's much too small for it. How rude.
Is it bigger than mine?
I love the
The hedgehog is bigger than you, and its fedora is bigger than yours, but it's too small for the hedgehog.
Oh, I don't like that. No one has a bigger
Mm.
fedora than me. This is personal now.
Well, but Horatio, it's proportionately not bigger than yours.
It's a matter of principle.
You want to take the fedora?
Oh, that's certainly a good idea.
I didn't
you
want
for
to put the
recommending
idea.
it.
No. I didn't want to put the idea in your head. But okay, since we're here,
Yep. I'll walk up to the hedgehog.
Well, Monica looks like is Juniper
Oh.
joining in as well?
Juniper wants to be friends with the hedgehog. So she has her mace, right? And it's like the braided dandelion stems, and she has decorated it with little field flowers. She was gonna offer the hedgehog a flower.
Aw.
And you guys want to steal his hat?
We can exchange the fedora for those flowers.
We could offer a trade. I would be okay with that.
This is
As you're saying this in the
As a
background,
friendly trade.
Blossom is carefully climbing up. um,
Because I was gonna see if the hedgehog, maybe all of us working together, would find a way up to the cake table. Because I'm assuming everyone loves cake.
yes,
as much as I
Yes.
love violence, I love cake more. We will
I
go
love
with
cake.
yours.
more than
So the-
violence. Even.
Three of us, Pearl and Horatio and Juniper, are gonna approach the hedgehog so far in a friendly way.
okay.
I reluctantly put the hook behind my back.
So, okay, good. So in Mouse Return, one of the things that we do is called a reaction roll, which tells us how the creature you're coming up to feels about you. And because you've now hidden the weapon, we don't have to do it with disadvantage. So I think if Juniper is kind of approaching with the flower, could you please roll 2d6 for me, or one and then one, and we'll see how this
Certainly.
hedgehog feels about you approaching.
Oh gosh. Okay. 7.
Okay, so they are unsure. What could win them over? So as you kind of come forward, they turn around and they're like, what are you doing here? This is my cheese. And sort of holds the cheese on a stick closer.
Juniper's just gonna stand back and introduce herself. Like, hi, I'm Juniper. I'm actually not interested in your cheese, but you seem like an intelligent hedgehog. We were wondering, do you know how to get up on this table? And we could share some cake. And she's just gonna hold the flower out. Like it's a nice flower.
I do know how to get up there, but I don't know if a flower's enough. You know, what's in it for me, Keith? Gotta watch out for myself.
Just sort of a good feeling
Keith,
about yourself.
Lovely to meet you, Keith. But also, it seems like there's probably plenty of cake and other treats up there that we could all
Well,
share.
you say that, but my boss, he's taken the cake already, and he's already given me a cut. So how are you going to give me a bigger slice of the cake than him? He munches on the cheese a little bit.
Betrayal. I reach for my hook. I'm just grasping. I haven't pulled it out yet.
Yeah. He just sort of lowers the cheese stick a
Horatio?
little bit at you, like.
Did you hear that? You're trying to scam us out of our cake.
Well, who's your boss? Because we haven't seen anyone else here.
You wouldn't know him. He's not a mouse, is he?
You think we only know mice, Keith? First you say, "Oh, you must be trying to take my cheese," an unfair stereotype. But then you act like we would only know another mouse.
I'm also concerned that my boss wants to take my cheese, which is why I'm eating it now.
That's a fair point.
As I said, you seem like a very intelligent hedgehog. That's a good plan.
I am. I'm underappreciated.
We could appreciate you.
Last person who said that did not appreciate me at all.
Fair enough.
Well,
Lopsided
even if
equal.
this flower isn't enough to win you over, would you like to have it anyway, just as a gift? It might look very nice in that fedora.
All right. He reaches out one hand, carefully keeping the cheese back, and takes the flower, sticks it on a spike. I'll remember this. Nice
Very
to meet you.
dapper.
And
Nice to meet you,
if
Keith.
I was you, I'd stay away from the cake. Boss is not keen on sharing.
I appreciate the advice, though I think we do need some of the cake for a wedding. Do you like weddings?
I do, actually. I'm actually a very good singer. I've been at a few weddings.
Do we know if they've hired a band for the wedding?
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, the more the merrier.
Keith, I'm not going to make you any promises because I don't want to let a new friend down. But we might be able to get you a gig as a wedding singer.
That'd be.
If
I
you were
am trying to
interested.
grow my clientele, and he reaches amongst the spines and brings out a tiny business card, which you see is labelled Keith Prickle, gangster and wedding singer.
Oh, what's the gangster portion of this?
That's the day job, obviously.
Okay.
But I am trying to
But
switch
the
the two
wedding
around.
singer
You
is
understand?
the night job. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you, Keith. We'll definitely take a look at this.
It has been a pleasure to meet you, Keith.
I think I could just about say the same to you. Not you. He looks at Horatio. I've got my eye on you.
Narrows his eyes as well.
Takes his fedora down.
I think we're going to take a tactical retreat and let Keith have a moment with his
He's a little
cheese.
prickly still, like.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you turn,
Sorry.
you do see the scaling of the tights going on with Lily and Blossom.
If I get to the top, I would like to have just a little peek over to see what's there.
So you have scaled the sort of middle table with that big pile of clothes that you can see on the map. And so before you see this huge mound of various clothes, t-shirts and little jumpers, a woolly scarf, a hat.
I have my eyes peeled for anything sequins.
Yes. You don't see any sequins sort of around here, but you can see some little lights kind of reflecting on like the further side of the clothes mountain, which maybe they are sort of sparkly. But the other thing you do see is you see near the top of the pile kind of some little movements going on underneath the fabric. Lily, you're at the bottom of the tights. Now you've seen it being successfully scaled. Are you going to join?
Yes, please.
you both pop your heads over, and you can see, yes, there's some sort of burrowing going on underneath the clothes.
I
Lily's just
wonder.
gonna elbow him.
Yes. Do you think they're friendly or
Why don't you
whatever?
ask them?
I mean, you're far more personable than me, clearly, with those bloody knives. Um, Clearly, you have much more social influence. But
Huh?
sure, let's. How about we do this one together?
Would you like me to hold your paw as well?
Well, I mean, that might be delightful.
Yes, okay. Let's go.
We'll hold pause as we run out there.
Excuse me. Yoo-hoo!
So as you start to sort of scale this big pile of clothes, you can feel actually, because there's lots of different fabrics, it's feeling quite slippery underfoot or under paw, I should say. And so you're kind of quite slow as you're climbing up. And as you reach, sort of start nearing the top, you see that in a little hole of fabric, the wiggling comes closer, and then a little moth comes out and
Oh,
starts sort of flying around a bit, and then lands on and goes and eats some of the wool of the jumper.
Oh,
hello there, friend.
Do moths have proboscis, or is that only butterflies?
I think that's butterflies.
yeah. I'm
Never
not
mind.
sure.
Little legs like sort of turn and look at you.
Hi, I'm Blossom.
Hello. Hello,
You-
I'm Lily.
What kind of moth is this? It's just like standard kind of brown, like patterned.
Yeah, a
kind of
little
moth.
brown winged moth. Yeah, classic clothes moth that eats all of your
Look at I
your nice
flash.
jumpers.
I flash my like marbled brown coat, and I'm just like, we're matching. Look at us. We're the same. We're wearing
Its
like
eyes.
such similar clothes.
Its eyes, I should say, rather than its eyes. Like get massive now.
Well, maybe you look like you know a good coat or clothing, or you know your way around this place. Do you? We're looking for like sparkly things, like nice things. They might not be nice to eat. They might not be as nice as this lovely wool coat that I've got on. You see this lovely wool coat. It's really beautiful. Do you see this? Do you see? It's look at the thread count. Look at the thread. Look at it. Anyway,
That little bit of drool.
yeah, enough about my lovely, delicious, uneaten coat. But maybe I could be convinced to leave it behind. Do you think I could be convinced to leave it behind, Lily? What would I
I
need?
don't know. Something sparkly, I think.
I think I need some sparkly little like things. If you could find
Yes.
them, I would. It would just be. I would just have to take it off, wouldn't I? I would just have to take off the coat and then put on the sparkles.
You're not sure if it's necessarily understanding everything you're saying, but is transfixed on the coat.
Oh, damn it.
I think while this is happening, other three, you're retreating from Keith, who's happily eating his cheese, and you've seen the other two climb up. What would you like to do? Do you want to join or do something else?
I just said that as you're leaving, Horatio is just gonna lean towards Juniper and go, "Great work, Juniper, luring Keith to the wedding so that it's easier for me to steal his fedora. I can respect that sort of treachery." He
Right.
gives like a nod of approval.
That's me. So duplicitous.
Oh, I've just seen we've got $3 to roll on the encounter table. So just finish this little bit, and then I'll
right.
roll to see.
Oh no.
Juniper is just gonna let Horatio believe that this is a long con. She's gonna try to call up to Lily, who is now on this sort of scraps table, right? And ask, do you think we could jump from the corner of that table to the cake table if we like climbed up the tights?
DM.
You think it might be a little far away because the clothing pile is on the opposite side of the table to the cake end.
Right. It might be a bit far. Maybe we need
Ooh.
something to bridge the gap.
How wide is the gap?
Never.
More than a mouse. More than a mouse can jump.
I do have a 6-inch pole with me.
Ooh, maybe you'd be able to sort something like that. You probably wouldn't be able to like teeter a 6-inch pole in between, but maybe you could use it to kind of get something that would be more stable. to cross it. Yeah, probably like about 6 inches. But obviously you want to stabilize it. However, as you're sort of calling down his conversation, this moth is kind of like staring at Blossom's coat. You feel on the encounter table that we've just rolled, I got the perfect one, which is landslide. You feel the clothes around you starting to slip and tumble as your paw steps in the wrong place, Lily, as you turn around, and both of you start to slowly slide down the thing as little socks come tumbling after you. I would like you to both do a deck save to try and avoid getting buried in this landslide of clothes. So
we
this
have to
is
roll
you're rolling a
under?
d20. You're trying to roll under your number.
Oh, I rolled my dex. So my dex is 10, and I rolled a 10.
Perfect. Yeah, meets it, beats it. Yeah.
Hooray!
So my dex is 8, and I rolled a 19. So I
Sorry.
definitely failed.
Woohoo!
So Lily, yeah, you're fine. You're kind of springing on your feet, and you manage to kind of jump on top of a sock and sort of surf it down back to the bottom of the pile. However, yeah, Blossom, you kind of are busy dealing with this moth, and so aren't paying attention, and your feet slip out from under you, and you end up falling down until your feet are sticking out of the pile, but the rest of your body is kind of hanging upside down inside, and you realise you're kind of in a sleeve. And the more you kind of pull to get yourself out, the more it sort of tightens like a finger trap.
Oh,
And you're just kind of... So you're going to be stuck, is what you ask. You can't move until someone else does.
damn it.
Help is on the way, dear.
And those of you below, yeah, you see this all happen as the clothing pile slowly starts to go. As it does, some of the lower clothes kind of slip off the table a little bit, and your eyes are all transfixed by a glittery, sequined top. It's so huge, swaths of fabric, so many sequins are sewn on this top. Oh, it's so beautiful.
So Lily is going to be like shouting over her shoulder in the direction that Blossom is stuck, being like, "I'll be right there," but actually making her way towards the sparkly sleeve,
Yeah.
the sparkly top. 30 seconds now, just hang
Blossom
on.
will remember this.
Horatio
What are
dra-
Pearl? Yeah, what's the other lot doing?
just
I
Horatio. Oh,
Oh, go.
okay. Horatio dramatically removes his fedora. My word, a friend is in danger. Don't worry, Blossom. I'm here to rescue you. I'm gonna start scaling up with my hook.
Yeah.
I think Pearl would make a beeline for the sparkly shirt, and say something like, "Someone should definitely help Blossom. That is crucial. It's crucial that somebody
You're
do
all
that."
awful. Except Horatio, I like you now.
What's Juniper also doing?
I think Juniper is torn. She definitely wants to go after the sparkle shirt, but if Pearl's already there, is it? I mean, you said it was huge. Is it something that Pearl could manage on her
Oh
own?
no, it's massive.
Their
It's
own.
much larger than a mouse. Yeah.
Okay. So Lily's on the table and Horatio's on their way up. Okay, so Juniper is gonna sort of shout up to Blossom, be like, "Seems like you've got this covered. Help is on the way," and then hurry on over to the
Oh my
sparkle
word.
to help Pearl with the sparkling
Cool.
shirt.
So Horatio, you by yourself with your hook carefully anchor yourself in the clothes so you don't slip. Very, very resourceful, and can get up to Blossom, who is quite stuck. And Blossom, yeah, you're upside down, but you can feel the clothes shifting as Horatio gets up to you.
I put on my fedora dramatically. Don't worry, Blossom. I'm here.
Just
Hold still.
get me out of here, please.
Don't worry. I'll cut you out real easy like, and I'm gonna start.
Ooh, excellent.
Again.
You start cutting down the sleeve, and Blossom, you can slowly feel the pressure releasing on this tight sleeve, as it kind of gets slowly ripped with the hook until you think you can sort of slowly wiggle out.
Okay,
and I'll just
will.
grab and
I'll
just
get out.
pull you out.
I'll just like flop out. In this pile of clothes, are we still in the pile of clothes now? I was just stuck in a sleeve, finger trap type thing.
Yeah, you kind of ended up in like a sort of like a little alcove area where it's sort of floating.
I think Blossom is just going to be like, okay, at least somebody came to get me. Let's. Thank you, by the way. It's appreciated. Do I see any white fabric around me?
Ooh.
Preferably
Yeah,
satin,
I think.
if I can. But if not, I'll take viscose if I need to.
I think that's a bit much for a jumble cell. You can see a white cotton shirt.
Perfect. I will absolutely go and try and rip some of the white cotton shirt for a wedding dress.
Good idea. Sure, you can
because
cut some of that.
I wanted to wear the sparkly top to the wedding, so I didn't want to upstage the bride by wearing the same thing.
So you're gonna wear.
I'm gonna try and get her like a white dress, basically, so that I don't upstage the bride.
Yeah, you can cut that. So you can cut that. If you wanna, that'll take up a slot in your inventory.
Totally fine.
And if you do end up using any, it'll be 3 usages. So, okay, you have acquired a bolt of white fabric, we shall say. Okay, so while you're hacking away, and Horatio, being the hero freeing Blossom, our other mice, Pearl, Juniper, and Lily. As you're kind of like heading towards this, you see it's like a sort of sparkly tank top, but obviously human size, so much larger than a mouse. But all of the sequins are sewn on, so you think you'd probably be able to cut some free. However, you do see that moth that was on the top now zooming into the sparkles, and you just hear it go, light! So, and you see 3 other moths also starting to land on the fabric and going.
Juniper light one of her torches.
Yes, very much so.
All right, so she's gonna do 1 usage of a torch and try to create like a moth to flame situation, just so we can preserve all of these beautiful sequins.
Yeah. Definitely. So as you kind of, how are you doing this? Is it like Malcolm from Jurassic Park trying to get attention, or is it more trying to cast light on the sequins?
No, I think she wants to keep the sequins from reflecting. So I think she is going to fully sort of like do a little dance. Okay. We're having it's very inspiring. It's like carrying the Olympic torch, and she's trying to sort of rally the moths away from the sequins as much as possible.
Okay. So the moths definitely turn to look at you. All of their eyes go, and you hear light, 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 as they all start to slowly hover towards you.
May have made a huge mistake.
Excellent idea, darling. And Lily's going to start hacking at the sequins with her daggers to try and get them off.
Do make haste.
So what I would suggest, I think, basically these moths are going to start chasing you, Juniper.
Oh boy!
Because they want that light, and they look very excited and maybe a little aggressive about getting it. So if you want to run around avoiding them, I would suggest a dex save to see how well you're able to run over the slippery sequin fabric. So you're rolling a 20 and you're trying to get under your number for dex.
Marvelous. All right, my dex is 10, so we got a 50-50 shot.
Nice.
That's an 8.
Brilliant, great. Yeah, you're pretty fleet of foot, and you're able to start doing little circles, and you see all 4 moths start following you around as you run. So Pearl and Lily, you've got a chance to get in there on that fabric, on those sequins. Pearl, are you also joining in on the sequins? Are you doing anything else?
Oh, I was like, Pearl should respond. I think Pearl is definitely hacking away at the sequins with her pickaxe, but I also have a lantern, and I'm curious if that could be used in any way to help. Like, if I threw it, would it survive?
If you threw it, it would use up 1 use right away. But both torches and lanterns, when they're used, torches last 6 turns before they get a whole usage used up. And lanterns, I think, get like 12. I'll have to double check that. But basically, they last quite a long time. So you could sort of set it going, and it would stay by itself. They both take 6 turns before they like use one usage, so it'll burn for like an hour before you need to sort of refill it.
Sure. I guess Pearl will light her lantern and try to set it sort of off a ways from the sequins so as to, create a beacon.
Excellent.
Hopefully helping
Sure.
Juniper out as much as
Cool.
possible.
Okay, so some places around here that you could set it. There's, you can see that now you're on the other side of the clothes pile. You can see that on the far side of the table, there's some like board game boxes stacked up that are partially open, and there's some sort of stuff around those. You can see there's like some music, like a music box and some jewelry boxes and a little safe. Yeah, so there's like some little boxes and things you could kind of set it on a little bit higher if you wanted, or you could go back up the clothes hill.
Yeah, I think I'd love to set it on these board games.
Sure. As you get closer, you may not be able to see on the picture.
Oh, I can see, unfortunately.
The board game is Mousetrap. I'm sorry, I was very indulgent on that. But yeah, you can see that there's this big board game with these strange symbols that you as a mouse cannot read, which include, you can see there's some 6-sided dice there. There's like a little plastic, it looks like a sort of big net of plastic on the top of something, and various pieces inside, including what looks like some sort of plastic like stairs, and like a little trigger piece that you can slot into each other as well. All of the pieces of Mousetrap. And next to it, actually, as you get closer, you can see there's also a torch, which has like a little pump-up handle. It's one of those like kinetic torches that you have to kind of like pump to get it to turn on.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was looking at. Yeah,
yes.
I think Pearl's gonna give that a shot. See if she can wind up the pumping mechanism.
Every light source.
Meanwhile, Lily, could you roll me a d6 and we'll see how many sequins you manage to gather.
5.
Cool. You have managed to gather 50 sequins of slowly cutting away as Juniper has been running around. And then, yeah, as Pearl, you set up, you slowly you have to sort of push the light in and out, and you're going to have to keep doing that to kind of keep it going. But as you do, the moths are like, light, and start bashing against the door. So that allows you to harvest those sequins. Horatio and Blossom, you've kind of managed to emerge from the top of the hill, and you can see these moths all going.
I sense danger. Wait, how far down are they?
Just down the close hill. So, like, if you kind of pick your way down, it'll take the rest of the turn to kind of get down there.
All right. I turn to Blossom. You ready to jump into combat? Oh, you're muted?
Are you muted?
I am. Sorry. I say combat? No, but that sounds wonderful, but maybe not for now. However, and Blossom's going to scan around and see if they can see like any jewelry or anything, because I have the white fabric. I saw that the sequins are being gathered by someone else, so we've got that. But I'm going to see if we can find any jewelry.
Yeah, you can see kind of standing where you are on like the far side of this clothes hill, past where Pearl is standing with the torch and the board games. There's this beautiful sort of velvet pink music box with a little like silvery ballerina stood up in the middle, and it's got some little bracelets and things inside, and there's also like a little like closed jewelry box, but it's one of those like glass ones that you can see in, and that's got some more little like necklaces and jewelry, including like a candy necklace and things in it. But you also see two little furry figures that look a bit like mice, but as you look closer, their noses look a bit different, and you think they look like shrews.
So, I see somewhere that we might be able to get some little trinkets, and I could use a bodyguard. I could use somebody who's very tough and strong and handsome, such as yourself. Oh, look! I've just found a bodyguard. Maybe, perhaps, we could head over there, and if things get a little bit rough and tumble, I'll just push it. No, you can go first. But we might be able to find some little trinkets over there. We also have an ally, a friend, still over there. Pearl is over there with the torch, so we'd have some help. So I do love that every time Pearl is mentioned, we just go back to Charlie like this, giving CPR to the air.
Yeah.
But
You can also see Lily like stuffing like sequins into her pack as well. And Monica now. Well, now Monica. Sorry, Juniper. I should say Monica's mouse. The torch is a bit superfluous now as the torch is going, but I think what you and Pearl can both see is that these moths are going to keep going at the light while it's there, but once it stops, they are going to be still excited about lights, but looking for different sources. So that's also what you can see from up top as well, for Blossom and Horatio.
So, Horatio, how about we regroup with our little friends or I say, regroup with the traitors who left me here to die, and then we scurry over and get ourselves some trinkets. And they look like maybe possibly some shrews over there. I definitely saw one of them had a very large fedora on. It looked even larger and possibly grander than yours. So, who knows? We might get into a scuffle over there, perhaps. And Blossom physically shudders at the word scuffle.
Oh, well, I see you've left me no choice but to accompany you as protection. I flip my fedora again.
Of course.
Now show me this shrew with the big fedora.
As soon as we regroup, we can definitely find that, definitely. And Blossom is just like, can I craft a big fedora right now and throw it on the shrew? Is that something I could do? But it's just like, no,
Like a
I'll just
frisbee.
say he lost it or something. I don't know. I'll come up with a lie later. It's fine.
It really is just a seat as a mouse.
I told you this.
Do we still have eyes on Keith?
You can look over the edge of the table and you can see Keith is now slowly rolling around in a trash bag. And you see that he has managed to roll so that his prickles pick up more cubes of
What a
cheese.
king.
That's
King.
God, I love Keith.
And then he's like picking them off his back so he can eat
I
them.
wish I was a hedgehog.
Yeah.
Could we, as a friendly gesture, sort of, because I think I'm going to try to plant my torch somewhere so I don't have to keep running around since they're distracted by the lantern. And then sort of like gently call over to Keith, hey, watch out for those shrews. They seem like cheese thieving types. And direct Keith's attention to the shrews. Just looking out for you, buddy. Just looking out for you.
What? Oh, it's you again. No, I'm with the shrews, innit?
Oh. You're such a fine, upstanding, intelligent-seeming hedgehog. We didn't think you all were together because you seem like you're maybe a cut above those guys.
That's why I'm trying to start the singing business. But you've got to understand I've got to make money for all of the little hedge pigs.
Absolutely. You need to earn a living.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sorry then. My misunderstanding. But I was just trying to look out for you and your cheese over there.
That's okay.
I love Keith.
While you're nibbling, do you think maybe, because you said you knew how to get up on the cake table, any chance you'd give us a little hint?
But just run up the bags and hope for the best. I have fallen in several times, but I have made it to the top as well. I'm going a bit Australian now. I don't know what's happening with this accent.
He's a
Anyway.
well-travelled hedgehog.
Keith's a well-travelled hedgehog.
Every new thing I learn about Keith makes me love him more.
Correct.
Well, thanks, bud. Enjoy the nibbles. That was absolutely not helpful at all.
Lily's gonna come back down to Blossom and Horatio, just securing the rest of the sequins in her backpack, and then just be like, "Well, any progress?"
Oh, we just retrieved some fabric, got an eye on some jewelry, maybe found a way up to the cake table. You know, we were doing all the hard work while you were running around collecting sequins, was it? Not saving your fellow mice who
Did you
were
get out
left
of
to
that
die.
sleeve by yourself? Yes.
Oh, I made it happen. I made it work without you anyway.
Oh, you had your big strong bodyguard here, and she squeezes Horatio.
Blossom gets a little possessive now and puts her paw on Horatio's shoulder, and it's just like, actually, yes, I have at least one ally in this group.
Oh, come now, we're all friends here.
Oh, yes, it's just a little bit of fun between friends. Blossom says as they kind of like walk past and jab Lily in the rib. It's just like, speaking of fun with friends, our lovely friend Pearl over there is sorry. I just want to do it. It looks really fun, and I wanted to do it. Is having a time over there with those lights. Perhaps we could throw a light source away from where they're standing so that they can stop pushing that button all the time, because that looks a little tiring. And I did see some jewelry over there, but there were two shrews. And I think, did we overheard Keith say that he's with the shrews? So maybe we don't want to, ruffle their feathers too much, but we could be like, leave or die, kind of, maybe, possibly.
I don't think shrews have feathers.
Okay.
Well, one of them was definitely wearing a feather boa. That I know for sure.
Ooh. Do you think they'll trade it for a sequin?
They might. But
Well,
I like the
let's find out,
sequins.
shall we?
Feather boas are a little tacky in last season, so it would suit you though, Lily. So, and then I'm just going to scamper off.
Appalled.
Oh, are you?
As is happening, also, you're stuffing it in.
Out of character, but that's why they left you on the table.
This is the true story emerging. What has Blossom done? Also, for the sequins, they take up one slot for like a big bag of them all shoved in together. And because there's a lot of them, we'll say they have 6 usages. So if you want to like use them in other means, you can. So Pearl, working those mousy biceps.
I do have
You
a
can see everyone
question.
chatting.
What are the odds? How strong are moths? Are they weak? Could they, say, carry a mouse across several tables?
What is the carrying capacity of 4 moths? That's a good question. I think if you got all 4 of them, they might be able to carry 1 mouse, but obviously wrangling them might be difficult. But yeah, it maybe could work.
You did like a fishing line with like the torch at the end, or the lantern at the
Yes.
end to make a sled out of.
Yes, like
Oh my God.
some sort of like a carrot on a stick for a pony. Like I want some sort of something to
I have a
consider.
magnet, but I don't have anything to attach it to yet.
Sorry, I love how you said that, and my immediate reaction was to give you some sort of awful snide remark about how that's not useful. But I was like, that was Eilish, not Lily. I need to stop. I'm not mean to Eilish. I'm only mean to Lily.
No, it's fine. You can be mean to me.
I think if you've all sort of gathered around as the moss are continuing to bombard the torches, Pearl is getting a workout discussing this. Yeah, you can see there's other things around. You could have a little search around. It would take you a little bit of time to sort of search for some more items and things, see if there's anything useful. Or yeah, some of you might have useful things on you already.
I think when we do get to Pearl, I would like to posit that we do like throw one of the torches away so that Pearl can stop and actually like do other things. So whichever one is still being used, like the torch or the lantern, because I don't know if Pearl did use the lantern after. Yeah, so if we have that torch from Juniper, we could like throw it so that they kind of go towards that. If that makes sense.
We might start fully afire, but I'm willing.
I was
to
going
risk
to say,
it.
where would you like to put?
I'd say like
throw this
somewhere
torch?
that's like empty ground, just on the middle, because like I feel like a mousy torch is going to be like a match, and it's not going to light fire to a
Yeah,
whole
it's very
hall.
small.
Like it's not going to light fire to a whole hall if it's just on the middle of the wood floor. Well,
So I have a question.
Mhm.
Because I'm looking at the layout of the Jumble sale, and there is this
Yes.
sort of trash can along one corner of the cake table,
Yes.
and with the bags next to it. Would we be able to
Yeah.
sort of clamber up the bags, scurry up the side of the trash can, and then climb onto the edge of the table that
Yes.
way?
That seems to be what Keith was suggesting.
Right.
It might be possible, yeah.
He said that you kind of have
Alright.
to run up and down it a few times because you might fall, you might slip.
Well, I think a mouse might be a little more agile than a hedgehog.
True, true.
That's right.
Less liable to rip the
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah, certainly. And then who had? Well, actually, the mace might work for this because it's got like a sturdy stick end, and then the sand spur ball could she use it to sort of grapple over the edge of the trash can, just like to assist her as she's climbing up the side?
Yeah, if you wanted to like start running up and then once you got to the top, you could use it to help anchor you. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. So Juniper is going for the cake table.
Perfect.
Just to let you know, so to kind of go back down and round, that'll obviously take a bit of time. That would take you a turn to kind of climb back down and around.
I mean, she's just been holding a lantern. She's been like Lady Libertying it up. So at least this is useful.
I think if Juniper does go to kind of leave the group, I think Blossom might like suggest that we try and stick together, do this, like kind of do it table by table, but that's a good plan, and that you have a way up that we can all try and do together at some point. I also will present my 6-inch chain that I can use to kind of help do the leveraging thing as well. If we want to like all kind
That's
of
good idea.
maybe if one of us could get up there, we could hang the chain down to help people
Yeah.
up, kind of stuff, all that kind of thing.
Mhm.
That sounds like a job.
That's a
for
great
me.
idea.
With my
Once
hook.
one person is up, just sort of pulling the
Yeah.
rest.
Again, I think Blossom
Yeah.
just says like there seems to be a lot of people around that just are things and creatures around that might not want us to take some of these things. So I don't think we should go alone on anything. I'd be very worried for all of our safety because we saw what happens when people go alone. They fall into sleeves and are left to die by their friends. That's the last
very
I'm going to
long
say
one.
about that one. It's the last jab.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's old news now at this stage. But
Cool. So Juniper pops down the torch somewhere less flammable, and then if Pearl, you're slowly starting to have a little rest, and the moss will go light on the new torch, and now they're going light hot, light hot.
Oh dear. Are we going to commit moth murder?
accidental moth arson.
So you have Juniper's suggestion of going up the bin bags, or you've also got that jewelry that you saw slightly further along this table, as well.
I think I'd like to join in finding the cake.
Okay, that sounds good too. We have kind of all day. We can come back here and get the jewelry if we need to. It's true. Plus, it seems like that boss might be up by the cake, and we're all in pretty good spirits now. So if we have to deal with a boss, it might be the best to do it now. So.
Yes. Take out the competition. I like that idea.
I also heard that he had an even larger fedora, maybe. Don't know where I heard that. Don't know where
This
I heard
rumor
that.
mill is right today.
I'm, you know me, I'm a Gabriella. I couldn't think of a G name quick enough. I'm sorry. I was going to say Susan, but I was like, that doesn't sound right at all. Gabby Susan. Who's that? She's like your one who lives down the road.
I'm going to step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, so if you're sort of going with the plastic bag plan, you carefully make your way back around the now slipped pile of clothing and climb down the tights. And you see Keith is now sitting in a corner on top of a sort of used up plate, having arranged his cheeses into a little a nice little pyramid. But as you kind of come towards to start making your way up the bag, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's been lovely to meet you, but I am not supposed to let anyone else past this point. I know I said you could get up. Oh, I see that. That is a nice fedora. It doesn't fit over your ears, but it is nice.
Horatio
That doesn't
approves.
change the fact I'm not supposed to let you past.
I mean, and your fedora is quite fine.
Obviously.
But could I offer you this one in exchange for you maybe being distracted by your cheese for about 3 minutes?
It does look like it would fit me better than you.
I'm happy to part with it. I think it would suit you quite well.
Horatio has a look of betrayal. How could you?
Horatio's going through so many
You know what,
emotions
Horatio?
already.
You told me that I was doing well betraying people, so
Keith, while I was exploring, I happened to notice a little music box up on one of the other tables. And I don't know if you have any interest in going over there and leaving us alone, but that's something to consider.
That is also both of those things tempting.
But you know, I did see that music box and
I
it was
do.
quite beautiful. It had a little dancer on it, and I feel like if you crank it, it'll move. But you know, it's just music. It lacks that nice baritone kind of feeling and vibe that I can just see from you already. I can feel that, or maybe that kind of tenor vibe that you
Yeah.
definitely have going on. Like I feel like we're missing that kind of ambiance in this room.
Okay.
If I'm honest.
and what better way to practice for a wedding gig?
Oh,
True.
this is perfect timing because I was going to say I think this might be a little roll here, but with advantage because you're also helping each other, and you've just earned an easy single, which means this is good in Masters. You get a -1 to your roll, which actually makes it better for you. So what I'm going to suggest is I think that this should be a will save, which is for using your sort of charisma and wisdom and things, and I think it should be well. You've all kind of both Pearl, Juniper, and Blossom have contributed here. So feel free to talk amongst yourself who you think should do it. But you should do it with advantage, which means you're going to roll 2 and take the lower. And then you also get an initial -1.
I would say, who has the highest?
I have 12.
Will?
Oh, yeah, I have 5.
So you have the best chance of rolling below
I rolled
your
max
will.
on will.
Ooh, yeah, I have 11.
Seems like, yeah.
So we all have pretty high will. I think probably Blossom has the best chance of rolling below their will.
Yeah, maybe. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous.
Okay, and
I
also
have a
thank you.
5, so.
That was Loira who did that donation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Loira.
So thank you. Okay, so yeah, so you're going to do it with advantage because obviously everyone else has been helping as well.
I roll 2 and take the lowest, and then I -1.
And you're going to get a -1 as well. Yeah, and everyone else is going to get that as well, but for obviously when your rolls come up. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. I got an 8 and a 7, so a 6 and a 7, basically. So
great, yeah.
100%
He's been standing like this, and he slowly is like, "Oh, that does sound very tempting. Go on then." And he takes the fedora. He swaps it out for his much smaller fedora and gives you the smaller one. And he's like, "This does fit on my head much better. Oh, this is the time for a sing." And he starts running on all fours, and then he starts to roll over for maximum speed.
Yes.
And starts making his way up. And in a few moments, you'll hear the dulcet tones of singing. But yeah, he gets out your way. Well done. For now.
Wonderful.
Ooh, let me put in my notes. He's convinced. It's like Dark Souls, but it's like
I was
Keith
just
convinced.
gonna say, imagine the Dark Souls font of Keith convinced.
Also, thank you for letting me bring that hat literally out of nowhere. I really appreciate you just rolling with that.
Horatio will look at Juniper with a look of betrayal but also respect and goes, "Well played. Well played."
Juniper's just going to give a gentle curtsy to Horatio.
It hurts, but it's so good. This
If
betrayal.
it's possible, could I use a usage of the white fabric that I have, and hopefully keep the other 2 usages for like actually making a dress. I would like to fashion like I would like to, doing whatever we're doing. I'd like to just try and fashion like a small little like bow or kind of like a little bow tie kind of thing. With like maybe like give to Horatio to put on it to make his fedora look better than the rest of them.
More fancy.
That is so
Of course you can do that. Yeah.
So I'll
Mark
just
1
be...
usage on your fabric.
Perfect. I've done it. As you're like giving your speech about like, oh, well played, but I feel a little betrayed, but also good job. Like you see Blossom just kind of putting it together and like just immediately just pins it into your fedora and just goes, well, now you have the most fashionable fedora at least.
It's stunning. Well done, Blossom.
Thank you, thank you. I look, see, my first day on the job as a stylist, and I'm already making everybody's day better. Climb, 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 climb.
Yes, everybody's.
Um, so as you're starting to climb, there's these two big black bin bags that are kind of like half full of stuff that you're able to kind of crawl over the top of, but you can feel and you can see little holes in it, mostly from Keith's prickles. And you can see it's full of things like paper plates, like cups. There's little wet patches from like where tea has been dumped in, some tissues, just general sort of cups, some crumbs and things from cakes. And I think as you're kind of pulling up, you also notice that there's a plastic fork sticking out, which would be about the right size for a heavy weapon. It's a sort of big long trident for a mouse. But it is rather jammed in there. You'd have to give it a bit of a pull.
Any interest, Horatio?
I'm very attached to my hook. I'm guessing this weapon is gonna do like the same damage, right? Mechanically speaking.
Mm-hmm. Mechanically speaking, yeah, it's the same.
But then, narratively speaking, what's better than one heavy weapon? Two heavy weapons. I'm gonna go and try to pull it out like Excalibur.
Okay. So if you're just gonna pull out, I will say it's gonna take a bit of work, which would be a strength save. Is there anything you want to do to try and make it easier? Otherwise, you can just go for it.
Oh wait, I have a bar of soap. I pull it out from my bag, from like my pouch. I never leave home without it. Gotta smell your best while on the job as a bodyguard. And I'm gonna start rubbing against the fork to make it a bit slippery.
Yes, brilliant. The tea starts helping it foam a little. And yeah, you're able to tug. And it comes out gleaming and clean, of course, as well. No longer smelling of rubbish. And yeah, you don't need to use a strength save. Very clever. Please mark a little usage of your soap. So it'll have 3, so cross off 1. And yeah, it's a heavy weapon, which means it does D10 damage, but you need to use both paws to hold it, and it would be worth 40 pips to the right buyer.
Nice.
Dual wielding 2 heavy weapons. I put the trident away.
Does it
that'll take up
2
it'll
slots?
take up 2 slots, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think I have just that is like that's all I can carry.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So keep that in mind if you do pick up a pulled up this fork. The rest of you are starting to climb, and yeah, the flooring here is all sticky.
Oh.
That's sticky.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed.
Yeah,
like,
I
the
think I
last
froze
3
there. I was
sentences.
just saying.
You kind of froze. up.
You've got some plans, haven't you? Hook and some chains and things. So you can see there's the top of the bin bags, and then there's the bin itself, like a sort of covered with a plastic bag edge, and then there's bits of plates and things sticking out. So how do you want to use that, Monica? You're saying Juniper had like a hook and things.
Right. I think she's gonna climb up the bag as far as she possibly can, and stretch her little body up as tall as she can, and using her mace, she's gonna try to get the sand spur, the ball part of the mace, over the lip of the can. That way she can like sort of use it as an anchor to climb up onto the top of the trash bin and clamber over the trash to the edge of the table.
Very clever.
And if Blossom is willing, I'll take your chain with me. That way, once I'm up, I can dangle the chain over and help other people up.
That's a great idea. I love it.
Yeah,
I think what
absolutely.
this will be, there's still a little bit of risk of falling and things, obviously, on the initial climb up. But I think because you've anchored yourself in, I think it's going to be. Would it be strength or dex to pull yourself up here? I think probably a dex save, but you can do it with advantage, and you've got your easy single roll, so you minus a 1 as well. So you're going to roll 2, and you're going to take the lower number as your result.
And that's just
Yes,
2d20. Okay. So my dex is a 10. All right. The lower one was an 11, and then that minus 1, so 10.
Thank you, Laura. There we go. Brilliant. So
Laura
you
saving
feel
us.
like a little bit of tea on your paws, making you a bit sleepy. Then you're like, huh, and you sort of like climb up. And then, yeah, you can drop down the chain, which means that no one else is going to need to do that save because they've got something easy to climb up. Very clever. Okay. So we're going to have a little break in a moment, but I'll just set the scene for the next bit. As you kind of get onto the top of the rubbish bin, and you're kind of like standing on a little wobbly paper plate, you can now see the top of the cake table. And what you see is firstly some more paper plates with more cubes of cheese and little bits of plastic cutlery everywhere. But you also see an array of cakes. You see a half-eaten brownie tray bake still in the pan. You can see a little sort of like cake stand tower of like muffins and cupcakes with like 2 tiers. Some of them eaten, and there's some muffin cases scattered about. You can see a Tupperware, a clear like Tupperware box with some lemon drizzle cake inside, and the piece de resistance is a large white cake stand with a Victoria sponge cake, pretty much like perfectly done, still mostly intact on top, and you can see there are 2 shrews sitting on top of it having a somewhat heated conversation. And as we see that, we will go to our break. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to get some water, have a stretch. Viewers, please make sure you do the same. And you'll come back and join us for the second part of Mouse Ritter. So we will see you in a little bit. Bye. Hello, we're back for more Mouse Ritter on the D8 Dungeon Drive. Just as a reminder, we are raising money for Trans Lifeline, and we've been doing very, very well so far. But if we keep going, I believe the next goal is the tattoo turns into a lower back tattoo. So getting in there. And if you're not able to donate, just sharing and commenting and joining in is also very, very helpful. So we had just finished with our little mouses. You had scaled the bin and you've seen the beautiful spread of the cake table from the cake sale. And as I say, yes, you saw this big Victoria sponge, and you can see a sort of old looking shrew with a little sort of birthday candle cane talking to a slightly younger shrew. Discussing something, and you can see a few more shrews also sort of like patrolling around the cakes as well.
I'm assuming that used one use of my chain before, right? When we were climbing up.
If you've kind of pulled it back up, how are you imagining the chain? Is it like a piece of chain, or is it like a little roll?
I would have said just like a big piece of chain, kind of like a piece of jewelry or something, like a chain piece of jewelry, and I would have just dangled down and then pulled people back up.
Yeah, let's keep it simple. Yeah, let's say you've got a usage on that.
Perfect.
So obviously everyone was pulling on it and straining it and things.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're kind of in the bin on top of some paper plates at the moment, looking at it. A few little flies are kind of buzzing overhead, but not kind of ignoring you at the moment.
Can we hear them?
You can see the shrews or the
shrews.
You can kind of hear from a distance, but I think you need to get a bit closer to hear them clearly. You can see, however, you can hear a bit of sort of bickering coming from a little bit closer, kind of near the base of the muffin stand. There are, let's see, 3 shrews wearing little bomber jackets, little leather jackets, and they're all going like, "No, it's my turn to eat some of the crumbs. No, it's my turn. I want to have some. No, you're supposed to be on guard, and I'm getting to have the snack." And then like, "No, it's my snack time, and you're on guard."
So total, there's like 5 shrews, is it?
Currently, what you can see are the 2 shrews on top of the cake, and then these 3 guard shrews around the muffins. Yes.
Shall we try to maybe sow a little bit of distrust between these shrews and maybe get them to take care of one another? Or do we want to maybe silence them in another way? Or maybe we just talk to them and just be like, "Hey, how are you? Give us some cake and hi."
You had me at silence. I pull out my hook.
Here we go again. Okay, well, if it comes to that, maybe. Anybody got any bright ideas on what we could do?
I think if we... Go for it.
No, go ahead, please.
I've got a basket, empty and ready for cake, and I'm thinking if we find a way to distract them, we're in.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
One distraction coming right up.
Oh no.
Oh god. Oh Jesus.
All right.
Jesus, sorry.
Juniper's gonna turn to Horatio and put a little paw on his little mousy shoulder. Love the energy. Love the enthusiasm. I think you're a secret weapon. I think we try to distract them hospitably first, and if that doesn't work, then you come rushing in with the big combat energy and take care of them, because you're like a nuclear option. You know what I mean?
Nuclear. I like the sound of that. Nuclear.
Yeah,
option.
I thought you might.
I might have a little bit of
but we should just basic rodent decency. Try the peaceable option first.
So I might have a little bit of a plan. This might involve you and I, Lily. What say we've sharpened our tongues a little bit in this little foray. How about we put those sharpened tongues to the test and maybe make up that we saw some beautiful, delicious cake in the bin?
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, you're so devilish. Okay. And I just kind of like walk out, and we kind of, I'm gonna walk out like close to them, but so that the others don't see me, the other two don't see me. I'm just gonna say, "Oh, Lily, you're always just telling me things like this, that there's beautiful cake in the bin, beautiful, delicious chocolate, like devil cake in the bin. Like,
Buttercream, icing,
but why would it
sprinkles.
be there in the bin? Ah, I don't know. Maybe we should go look, but we shouldn't tell anybody about this beautiful, delicious chocolate, delightful cake in the bin
Absolutely. We have to
because
keep it to ourselves.
it needs to be really secret." And I like
Yes.
kind of like push it like secret, so we
Yeah.
can't tell anyone. And you know, did you say that there was also like maybe like little bits of like popcorn in the bin too, like around it, like lovely and salted, like so maybe
Yes,
you could
and
even have a little bit
caramel
of
popcorn as well.
savory and sweet, so you can really get
Oh.
engage the palate, you know. Um,
Yes, yes. It's a whole smorgasbord.
Okay. You just hear one Matt go, one Shrew go, I don't know what smorgasbord means, but it sounds good.
Oh, goodness.
And then you see them all kind of like cluster in a circle for a moment, and they're like, right, look, Jammy Dodger, you need to go after these two, and I'll go and get the cake. And then he's like, don't even think about it. I want to go get the cake. And then the seventh one's like, no, I'm getting the cake. And then they start just sort of being like, they just put all three of their little like heads together and are like, me. And then they start rotating. Why don't we all get them and then we get the cake? Oh, that's a good idea. And they all turn to look at you.
and I just kind of go like, well, I better just go get that cake then. And I turn to Horatio and I kind of go like,
And he's gonna, as he prepares to jump forward, he's gonna say Leroy Jenkins, but with his name, Horatio Bader. And he's gonna jump into the hook.
Oh, amazing. Okay,
Oh,
so
dear.
it sounds like you're charging in. And so because you've kind of got the drop on these three shrews, you are going to be able to go ahead of them in the order. You don't really have like a set order in Mouse Ritual. We just kind of go with you guys before the enemy or after. So because of this element of distraction and surprise, you're all going to be able to go first. So I think it makes sense that Horatio is running in, and then we'll kind of work out what makes sense for everyone else to do.
I'll
So
go
we're going to
after
go.
Jamie Dodger.
So we'll go turn round by round at this point. So it means you can do one thing each round, whether that be attack or steal some cake or, whatever you want to do. So Horatio, you're running towards these three shrews, and you can see them kind of distracted, looking at Lily and Blossom, being like, "We should get them!" And they start doing. They're basically doing like the house, the
West Side Story.
yeah, West Side Story. And they're so distracted, like, oh, you can charge in. What would you like to do?
Yep, and I'm charged. I'm just gonna whack. I'm not gonna like skewer the hook. That's a bit too R-rated for this show. So I'm just gonna knock them out with the hook. The blunt end.
Cool. So could you please roll your weapons damage for me? So I think you have a heavy weapon, which is a D10.
Yes, let's go. Oh, I rolled an 8.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. So Jammy Dodger has some stats somewhere that I put in a different place than I should have. Here we go. Oh my goodness. So you go straight through Jammy Dodger's HP, which means you're going into their strength. So they're going to see if they go down. Oh my goodness. They failed very badly. So Jammy Dodger goes down on the floor and is like, ow,
And
my head.
as I do that, I go, the name's Horatio Bader. Remember it. As I knock him out. And I turn towards the other two. Come at me!
Jammy Dodger is rolling on the floor, like clutching it. I think he had a flat cap on and you've knocked it off and he's clutching at his little tiny shrew ears. And the other two are like, huh. And so because you have injured one of them, I roll their morale to see if they're so scared that they run away. So I'm going to roll their will to see, and they're average at will, so see if they run away. Okay, they both actually pass, so they sort of square up and they're like, there's two of us and one of you, ignoring the fact that there's lots more, and they're like, So that was Horatio. So I think Lily and Blossom, you are also quite nearby. So let's say Lily
Oh,
can go next, and then we'll do Blossom, and then we'll do Pearl and
I think Blossom's a little bit more skittish in like
Yeah.
combat, so 100% Lily. Danger would be going first.
Lily is going to pull out her 2 little glass daggers and say, "Well, I've got 2 of these and 1 of me."
There's more of them. Tunic, we should get
And she's
out
going
of
to
here.
start dancing towards them as well.
Are you wanting to try and do an attack, or are you just trying to like sort of like scare them?
Yeah, I'm just trying to scare them.
Cool. Okay. They'll do a little will save.
Okay.
Which one do you want to focus on? There's 2 of them. You can choose one. One is kind of like the one closer to you, or
Yeah, we'll do like the one who's nearest to me.
one closer to you, Mr. Tunic Tea Cake.
Oh,
And fails spectacularly on a will save,
Beautiful.
and it's like, I don't even like Jammy Dodger that much. It starts
betrayal is rife in this
behind
game.
the Tupperware, picking up a muffin case and like trying to drop it over them to try and like camouflage themselves around the back of the lemon cake
Is
tray
it
base.
possible to try and like usher him towards the bin instead of towards his people?
Sure. Yeah, so perhaps so Lily's action was kind of scaring. Would that? I think that would be your action to try and like get in the way.
Yeah, because I think I don't want them to run back to their crew and tell them that we're here. I'd rather them walk into the bin where that lovely, delicious cake is.
Sure.
I think I'd like to. What I'll do is, this is gonna be so stupid. I'm gonna grab my chain and I'm just gonna like put it around them and like, ooh, and then just fling them aside.
Yeah, they're really scared, so they're just like do like a little like, and then you hear a as they like pratfall into the bin. And you just see, like,
Plot twist: there actually is lovely, delicious cake in the bin.
I can't wait for my lies to be wrong.
You see a little puff of like icing.
I can't wait for like my lies to come back and haunt me in this game. It's gonna be so good.
Okay, so Tunic Tea Cake is out. There's one left. So that was Blossom. Pearl or Juniper, if one of you has an idea. Let's go next.
I think I'd like to pull out my pickaxe, not to attack, but to kind of do some like complicated dance, but threatening. A threatening dance.
Yeah, a threatening dance. Excellent. Similarly, trying to intimidate the last one.
Yes, the one that yes.
Cool. Okay. Again,
that hasn't been intimidated yet.
We'll do a little will save. Oh, and they got a 12, so they failed. So this last one's like, what's up? Please, I'm on my own now. There's only one of me.
Can we point at the bin?
Yeah.
Go that way.
Slowly, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Good. Go.
Jumps in the back. So you are left with just the injured Jammy Dodger on the ground going, ah!
Okay.
And yeah, the towering muffin display stand ahead of you.
Who had the sort of satchel or empty container that we were gonna?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have basically dispatched with these three non-blind mice, shrews. I know, but it was right there. So Juniper is probably going to try to put herself in between Pearl and the cake and these other 2 shrews and just keep an eye on them. Because if they start to notice us absconding with this lovely, beautiful cake, she's going to try to distract them. Juniper is very, very sweet until you push her past her limit. So her first instinct is always going to be like, I would love to be nice to you. So she's got her little lute made out of an acorn and like blades of grass. And she's going to try to like distract them via serenade and flirtation if they notice what we're trying to do.
So not yet, but if they notice.
Hopefully
got it.
accompanied by the
She's basically
hopefully
readying an
accompanied by
action.
the dulcet tones of our wonderful Keith.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you can
God.
now start hearing a beautiful baritone hedgehog voice singing along to the Nutcracker.
Whatever she plays
Of
is
the
going
following-
to complement Keith's vocal stylings, for sure.
Of course. Okay, so yeah, Jammy Dodger's on the ground, basically out of the can. And yeah, you are now standing underneath the cupcake stand. It's sort of like a metal, got like metal bits and then like little sort of cardboard circles to hold the cupcakes on top. And you can see a couple arranged as well.
Blossom's muted. Blossom just kind of says, "Do we need the cake per se, or can we just take cupcakes, like bits of cupcake? That's still cake. I mean,
Well, the list doesn't have any specific flavors.
this is true.
You know, they might not want traditional white cake.
Exactly. And do any of these cupcakes have like white icing on them? We could take some of this.
Yeah, there's like a cherry glacé
We
one.
could take some cake, some cupcake bits, and then we could like fashion a cake and then put this lovely little glacé finish. Very stylish, very chic.
I like, yes, a great idea. Blossom.
Thank you.
I have to say.
I'm so glad we're seeing eye to eye
Taste
again.
is just exquisite, Blossom.
Oh, God, this is so. And I take a little bit of the white fabric and I just start like.
Getting fired from the prison really did wonders for you.
Thank you. I wasn't for it, you know. It wasn't me. It wasn't my life. It's like when we're not our jobs, you know. We're
Absolutely.
mice. Are we mice or are we men? No, we're mice.
Now, Blossom, hear me out, because I'm having a vision of some of these sequins being used as gorgeous, sparkly place settings.
I see it. And like Blossom is just gonna start like starts like puts a sequin, puts the fabric, puts a bit of cake, and it's just like making a little like vision board. Now it's like making like a mood board. It's like, wow, Juniper, you have an eye. What can I say? This is going to be wonderful. So we take this cake, we go, maybe we get some of that jewelry. How about that?
Beautiful. Yes, we do still need some decor. Yes.
I mean, we could drape some of the sequins as like bunting. We could find some sparkly fabric to maybe do some drapery also. We could take some flowers and bits and pieces. We have so much. There's so much here.
So this whole time, Pearl is just shoving pastry into their bag.
Yep, just absolutely, yeah.
So I would say a cupcake is quite large in comparison to a mouse.
Yeah.
So a whole cupcake, I think, would be like 4 slots, but you know, you could quarter that and take a smaller amount.
How much would be like enough for a
particularly
cake, give or take? Enough for a mouse cake, like a mouse wedding cake.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, if it's for a full
If you
party.
said a full cupcake is like 4 slots, maybe like half that.
Yeah, I think like half a cupcake.
Yeah, if it takes, because that might not include. Does that include the frosting that we take, or do we have to take that separately? Okay. Cool,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. You can like get your Oh well, Horatio has the plastic fork now. You can kind of like carefully.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Fabulous.
I take it out.
So yeah, you can carefully cut that up and get half and wrap it in its little.
Love.
Genius.
So Pearl and Horatio, as you're kind of cutting up that, I think Horatio, you know, you've been like, yeah, I'm pumped up, and you're like, yeah, you're hearing the mood board. It's like, okay, whatever, we've got the cake, great. You hear a little like, knock, 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 knock.
We got company.
Coming from the direction.
Come in.
Coming from the direction of the Tupperware box with the lemon drizzle cake inside.
I hope I know who this is. I think Pearl runs over and tries to pry it open with her grubby little paws.
So, yeah, and as you're sort of like, you go over to try and look at it, yeah, you see 2 little white paws, red jumper, bow tie.
Uncle Bernard!
That's me. Let me out.
Could I?
please.
Blossom's gonna like hop up to you and just kind of be like, "Will it be too loud if we pop open the lid?"
No,
I have-
let them come.
I have a plan.
Might be. It's also it's I will to give you a context. It's a big Tupperware, so it's one of those like a human would need 2 hands to pop, so it's going to be quite difficult. Probably take 2 mice,
Could
to kind of get it
we?
off.
Maybe 2 or 3 of us get some of our torches together and maybe soften the plastic and then just try to dig through.
Ooh.
We have a big, strong bodyguard with a hook here,
Yeah?
and we have plenty of torches and stuff between us.
That is a good idea. Mild complication
Yes.
for you. It is plastic fumes
True.
being burnt, which you're welcome to do, but just being aware that I think that would probably need
Could also kill him.
maybe like a will. Could kill him, could poison you guys a little, might alert some people, but you could take that chance if you kind of all went through it once to be just over, quite quick melting plastic.
What's a little
But
poison between
Just
friends?
to give you the full range of what might happen.
Well, I know Horatio's always willing to be the
It's
more
a
dangerous one.
sealed Tupperware container. It's not like a Tupperware that fell over him.
No, he's been put in there.
Ooh.
And
Oh.
we know by who.
Oh, that's awful.
I mean, he's
Can
got
I
a
use
full
my
lemon
soap
drizzle
to
cake in there.
loosen the caps, the lid? Oh, Philip,
You're muted, Philippa.
you're muted.
Sorry, I muted myself and unmuting. I was saying, Nick, could you just repeat what you said? I didn't hear.
Can I? Because the lid is shut right on the top right. Can I use my soap to the edge to make it easier
Yeah,
to
yeah,
pull
you
out?
could start. Yeah, you could sort of loosen
Would that
up
make
a
it
little bit.
quieter
Yeah,
to
sure.
open then if it's soaped?
I didn't think this far ahead in terms of Tupperware usage, but I guess if you kind of were able to pry it more than just
Yeah, I
pulling,
have a spear as well. I could, if we could get you to soap that.
We could
We
wedge.
could, I could wedge the spear, and then
Then-
somebody else could take the fork and wedge, and then
Yeah.
we could kind of.
I think I am the strongest. I have a strength of 11.
Oh,
I will
So
Yeah,
if I
grab you my
stood on top
spear.
trying
Yeah.
to pull as you guys were pushing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this sounds good.
Teamwork.
And Juniper is still standing guard, ready to
Ready to
distract.
seduce.
Always.
Okay,
Always.
so
I will say, Horatio's hygiene habits have saved our booties twice
True,
now.
true,
Very
true.
true.
about other booties, but anyway. Okay, so Lily, you can climb on top and you can start.
Wash your ass. That's the joke.
You can start sort of pulling up, but yeah, as you're sort of like greasing it up with the soap and using all of your little spears and things to sort of loosen it, you're able to kind of like gently pull it rather than it going. It's like and
Nice.
loosen the side so that there's a little bit of space. And Uncle Burdock is trying to sort of scrabble, but the sides are plastic and it's really slippy.
I am gonna just like
God,
let my
reach,
chain
he says.
let my chain down
Oh.
into it
Okay,
for him
Ooh.
to cling up.
and you can pull him.
Perfect. And we
His little red jumper getting pulled on the thing. Yeah. Thank you so much. I thought I was going to be trapped in there forever and maybe die.
well, we wouldn't want that.
No,
Did you bring some of
absolutely
that? You didn't bring some of that lemon drizzle cake with you, did you?
It opens up the
Oh,
Jumper.
that's what we like to see. Perfect.
Oh, it's
Perfect.
full.
a glistening
full.
lemony crumb.
Perfect. Perfect.
His whole white chest is stained yellow.
Oh no.
I got it.
That's wonderful. We'll take that with us too. Well, we'll take him and that with us. I'm sure he will be able to carry that.
Question. Is he wearing the bow tie, or is the bow tie up for grabs? Because I did dibs the bow tie.
That's true.
The bow tie got caught in the Tupperware and is in the Tupperware. And he's like, just leave it. I don't need
The
it.
Tupperware that is now open.
Yes, it is now open, yes.
You'd have to get in there and then get back out.
Or I could use my Sandspur mace to try to latch onto it and scoot it up.
You could.
Well, I don't think a mace would do it because it just sort of like swishes around, but there may be other things other people have.
I
We'll put a pin in the bow tie for now.
I think hearing Juniper's lament about the bow tie, if we find some really nice fabric, I will fashion her one. Absolutely. But it has to be perfect. The fabric has to be perfect for her.
Yeah.
It has to be good fabric.
Yeah, and
Juniper's favorite color is purple. Just
I'm
purple.
writing
putting
that in
that
my
out.
Noted.
notes.
now that I'm looking at the jumper completely soaked with cake, I'm no longer interested.
Yeah, it smells very lemony. There's some lemon curd on it. And you notice also Uncle Burdock is very sticky, like he's covered in icing sugar. And you can see there's also splotches of icing sugar like around the cake where it was obviously like put in a hurry, including some little like shrew footprints going back and forth in between it as well.
Cute.
So are we able now to sort of quietly beat a retreat
Well, we still need some decoration.
and head down from this table towards the
Yes.
jewelry?
You're onto something. You're onto something. I think that's a
So
good
yes,
idea.
you can go.
Because I think so far these other two shrews
They
have
haven't
not
so
noticed.
far. So going back the way you came would be a little risky because they, they might see you. Or there is the gap to the other table.
Is
as
the
well.
table like it is on the thing? Is like the other table lower than
No,
that, or
that's
is it
just
just a
me
further?
being bad at perspective.
That's I have one use left of my chain that I can help us get across with.
So I have the magnet. Is there anything on the other side we could throw the magnet to?
Ooh.
Oh God, you guys are
Yeah, there's probably some of the bracelets in the music box.
One of those biscuit tins that's actually a sewing kit.
Yeah. Actually, there's a cash
Love
box. There's like the cash box for
Oh,
the jumble cell is
brilliant.
behind the
Ooh,
That'd be
music
heavier.
box. But that is kind of. Ooh, sorry, I pressed a weird button. Never mind. That is where the those shrews you saw before on the other table are now trying to shove a little like toothpick sword into the lock of the cash box and pry it open unsuccessfully.
Okay.
And Keith is also over there going.
Could we?
my love for Keith is eternal.
Yeah, it knows no bounds really. I'm trying to think.
$15 donation. Thank you. A treasure for Blossom from Keith.
Oh my god.
So as you're sort of talking about this, I think Uncle, what do I call him?
Burdock.
Uncle Burdock is like, some of this might be helpful, and kind of like takes you around the back of the Tupperware and shows a little pile of things. So Dahi, as Blossom, could you roll a d8 for me and we'll see what
Of course
treasure
I can.
you find.
That's a 3, Philippa.
A 3. Ooh, a candy necklace, which takes up 1 slot, is made out of elastic, worth 60 pips. So it's one of those ones with like the little circles, and then it's got like a little love heart on the end, and then it's that like big long piece of elastic tied in the little knots that you can be like as you eat it.
Excellent.
Obviously, very large for a mouth, a
Oh.
mouse even.
As we are, because I do have a treasure map.
You
Does that
Why are
show
we
me
only learning
anything
about
here?
this now?
She's been distracted
Fair.
trying to be a
True.
distraction.
Is this
Touche.
Also,
No, sorry, go on.
Juniper is desperately jealous that Keith gave Blossom a treasure.
Fair. As are we all.
valid?
But yeah, so would my treasure map help me find anything, either for the wedding or for our own personal enjoyment here in the Jumble scene?
Yeah. Okay. So do you see on the table behind the by the muffin stand? There's another pile of like plates and things.
Yeah.
And some napkins and stuff. So your like little treasure map, I think in the context of this, is like the notes from last year's Jumble sale that the previous adventurers noted down and were like, this is always a good spot to lurk and blah blah blah. And they note down like, always look under the plates. Like people always leave, the giants always leave strange stuff under the plates. And Okay, I'll give you an option. Would you like to roll on the treasure table yourself and get a sort of randomized thing, or would you like something specifically to do with the decorations?
I think random is more fun. Let's go with chaos.
Hooray! So roll a d8 for me. If you get a 3, just re-roll it.
All right. Hold on one second. I have to find my d8.
Rolling a D8 on D8 dungeon.
If I get a what, we re-roll?
If you get a 3, because we already had that.
Okay. That is an 8.
Haha! Excellent. You scrabble around and you find a set of car keys, which attached to them is a keyring with a little mini catapult, like those ones you find at history museums, attached to it, complete with little movable like handles so you can pull the thing back. It may be a trebuchet. I'm sorry, trebuchet people. I don't know which one is which, but whatever it is, you're able to like carefully pull it over and it rocks up, and you realize you could load this with some sort of ammo and fling things with it. And this is it wouldn't fit in your pack. You'd have to wheel it around with you. If you were to use like anything soft as ammo, it would do d6 damage. If you use something hard, it would do a d12 damage.
Can we fling ourselves across the table?
The reason I went ooh is maybe you could fling yourselves.
Immediately my
That sounds hilarious.
It might be a little dangerous.
Yeah, it might be. We're only little lights.
Who is delighted?
I would like to fling Horatio headfirst into one of those mice to kill them, or one of those shrews to fight them.
Pins them all with the trident.
Yeah, you just send Horatio into battle with via catapult or trebuchet again. We're sorry.
Yeah. Right, we don't want to
You would
offend
be so
the
down.
community.
not pretend that would not be Horatio's proudest moment. Right?
Yeah, how does Horatio feel about this suggestion?
Oh, he's pumped. He's like, flinging me through the air? Come on. It's on my bucket list.
That could be a good distraction for us to scamper across with the magnet and the chain.
Yeah, a flying mouse. Distracting.
A good distraction.
But it is also, just thinking it through, we would be drawing their attention to exactly the direction we're
True.
trying to go.
Oh, that's very true. Do we have anything that maybe pops or explodes or do
I
we
have some perfume.
do we
We
have
could set it on fire.
do we have we could set that up, and that creates a lovely light source for maybe a couple of moths.
Moths. I like the way you're all thinking.
I mean,
Mhm.
how many torches did we start out
I
with?
still have
Everyone has
I
3.
think.
Yeah, I still have 3 too. So.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I still have 2.
How about we Molotov cocktail that cake? Why does this happen? The game I DM'd yesterday, players put together Molotov cocktails. What is it about me?
Everyone loves Molotov cocktails. I have made many a Molotov cocktail in many different role-playing games in my time.
What I feel like it's
That's
something
so
about me this
fun.
weekend just like radiates make an explosive like material. But
Why not?
if we do maybe light this cake up a little bit, that might attract some moths. Also, these other people over there will be like, "Oh no, our boss is in danger. We should probably go help or something."
I like this plan. Burning things up, I'm down.
I'm in favor of flying flames
I
always.
think flying flames is always—it's pretty cool. It's pretty rad, as the kids do say. Well, shall we?
Okay, so
Sure.
this is not to dissuade you. I love this idea and I want it to happen. So just talk me through the plan.
So
So Horatio's gonna get flung across.
No.
First of all,
we nix
Molotov
that.
we're gonna
first.
distract.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Molotov first. So we use
That's a good bad name.
Molotov. Oh my god, it is. What a great drag name. Molotov first. So we
Is there cheese around? Because we could flambe some cheese and throw that And that would attract both mice and shrews.
There is some cheese back on the other end of the table, near the bin.
It might not fling as
Mm.
far if we've
Yeah.
melted the cheese.
If it's melty.
Sort of a fondue. Yeah.
We could take some of the fabric
More like a
that
fondant.
you have, douse it in
Sorry.
the perfume, tie it around something, and then fling it with the catapult.
Yeah, we can like
Yes.
rip some cheesecloth up with the cheese, wrap the cheese in the cheesecloth, soak it in the perfume, light it on fire, and fling it.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Flaming
So
cheese.
that's what we
This,
want to.
this is like when they, in medieval times, when they would like wrap up bits of like
Yeah.
flaming stuff and throw it at people. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, what a wonderful game.
Who am I
So
to
wholesome.
disagree?
Amazing.
You
Okay.
silly little mouse. Anyway, let's fling fire at people. Like.
Okay, so
You
with
mean
this
Mike,
change
don't
in
do
plan,
that?
so to give you the new context of the change plan, if you need to go and get the cheese, it is at the other end of the table near the cake with the
Okay.
2 shrews on top.
Mm.
Do
You
we
would need
have
to do a little
anything?
sneaky.
Do we have anything else that isn't cheese? Oh, maybe cheese is just a good idea.
What else could we set lumps of muffin? The muffin cases.
I mean,
Muffin cases are very flammable.
Pastries are
Mm.
flammable. Pastries are flammable.
We could use the lemon cake. That's
the
got
muffin
a.
cases.
But we could wrap
They're
the lemon
paper.
cake in the muffin cases. That could be our cheesecloth.
You mentioned brownie on the table. I think brownie has a good density for tossing.
What is the ultimate?
Yes.
I do love lying, and I may have been lying about the brownie.
No, you went.
Philippa
I
mentioned.
Oh, good.
There's a brownie tray.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I thought it was just the devil
We're getting
cake.
caught
but
up
I
in
was-
our web of
Oh,
lies.
lies.
A huge lie.
I was like, yes,
Okay.
somebody fell for my lies.
I'm imagining this panning out as you sort of speaking as the mice, where Blossom's like, I didn't even mention a brownie, and then Juniper's like, I got it.
Yes. Well, I did, and it's here. I love that.
Yeah, here it is. Okay.
I may
so
have been snacking on the brownie while I was being a distraction.
That's
you got a
good.
map. Oh, yeah, muzzle full of crumbs.
Okay, so brownie,
Okay, so you can
muffin
grab the
case.
brownie without having to sneak.
Brownie, muffin case, perfume,
So we
fire.
have a perfume-soaked brownie,
Perfume soaked.
and we're
It's
gonna
like a
light it on
cake.
fire. And we're flinging it in a direction apart from where we're trying to go.
I thought we were
flinging
going
it
to fling
at
it
the shrews
at the
atop
shrews
the
on the
cake.
cake to try and light the cake on fire.
Oh, y'all are so much more violent than I am.
I mean, we're not
Oh, I
trying to
see.
kill them. Just
Distract
Maybe.
them.
They
distract.
Have them attacked by moths.
No,
They
I'm
put
on board.
Uncle
I'm on board.
Burdock
I'm sorry.
in
I
the
thought we were
Tupperware.
full distraction.
We
This is
Yeah.
it.
have
And
to get
you,
This is retribution.
Uncle Burdock is probably like, burn them.
We
Yeah.
do need
But
to
like,
avenge Uncle
I'm not
Burdock.
sure how I feel about this, but as long as I get back home in time for the wedding, anything goes.
Don't worry, of course, Burdock. Now back to arson.
Absolutely.
No. I think we're trying to hit the cake so that it kind of lights up a little bit. Even if there's some candles, we can hit those just to create a light source for the moths. That's like the
Okay,
idea, I think.
cool.
I love how we like,
Okay.
fire equals burning people and things and stuff, but then we're like, no. We were trying to create the distraction with the moths and the light like that. We're like, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so cool. So you wrap up this brownie in the muffin case, pour some of your perfume on it, which I think is a usage for the perfume, and you can load it into the little catapult.
I'll mark a use of
But
my
just
torch.
it-
I'll use my torch for it.
Yeah. Aim it at this cake.
Cool.
It's a little bit of a way. So whoever is going to fire it, I think. Let's say it's dex save because you're like adjusting it to the right angle, but because of all this good prep you've been doing and like planning, I'm going to say it's with advantage. So who is going to aim at that?
Who has the
I have
best
a top
dex?
10.
I have 4 decks.
I have
Horatia's
10.
like, I'm ready.
Ratio and I are like,
Horatio wants to do it, but he will be very bad at it.
I have 8 dex, but I have 4 strength, so I'm glad that hasn't come.
All right.
Not yet.
I have 10 decks, and it is my catapult.
Oh yeah. Okay, you do it then.
True.
Go ahead.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna be very sad if. Do we still have those?
Oh
we
yes,
still
you
have
had some
that
donations, so you,
minus one.
well, you already had an advantage, but yeah, you've got a -1 that you can
Hmm.
use. Yeah.
All right, perfect. We're trying to stack this deck as much as
Yeah.
possible.
We're little mice. We need as much help as we can get.
Okay, so the lowest one is a 9,
Yay.
which is already lower than my deck.
Excellent. Okay, so burning piece of brownie rockets through the atmosphere like a little comet. Beautiful. Onto this cake. Bits of icing and Victoria's sponge start catching on fire, and you hear the two shrews being like, "Oh, what's this? What's this? Boss, get down, get down! Someone's attacking us!" He's like, "I can see that, obviously." And they start running. And at this point, then you hear, "Light, light, 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 light!" As the moth. Start
Alright.
bombing the cake.
Just for the cool factor, right?
Yeah.
And feel free
Of
to say
course,
no,
yeah.
but
I'm probably going to say yes.
just for the cool factor. Because I'm assuming the boss is the one with the birthday candle cane.
Yes.
Is there any chance at all that a little spare spark
Like,
Good.
lit his cane on fire?
Yes. He starts waving it around. His little flat cap's gone on fire and he's had to throw it on the ground. And they start, hurriedly making their way off the cake.
perfect.
If
Second in command jumping off, ignoring the
I
boss.
guess since Juniper was firing and aiming, myself, Blossom, and Lily could be using my chain and the magnet to throw it across the other side and try and pull us across to be able to like.
Yes. Is Horatio still wishing to be fired across, or
Fling me in, coach. I'll take out the stragglers.
Sure.
You get the cake.
you could be flung with the chain, perhaps?
Oh yeah, you hold on to it and then you
All
can
right.
like
True.
attach it to the coin box.
All right, let's go. Yet another cry of Horatio Bader.
So you rotate the catapult round and you can be flung. I think you got your eye in now. So Juniper, you can line it up, and Horatio, you go
Oh, no.
over the gap.
Yeah.
Chain in paw, and you're able to kind of like stretch it across.
Perfect.
So the two shrews on the cake, very much distracted, running down. However, don't forget there were those other two shrews on the money box, and they definitely have seen what is going on with all those fireballs. So Horatio, you do hear a, "What was that? I don't know. We should go check it out. Come on, Junior." And you see one of them is quite a young shrew and is kind of like still in his molting phase, which means he's kind of like mid-20s.
Oh.
You go first. You go first. I don't want to go see it.
Yeah.
Can we all
And they-
scamper across the chain then? As they're
As you're sort of scampering across, this is when they kind of put their heads around.
at the end of that will be the last use of
Yeah,
my
money
chain. So
box.
do I remove that from my inventory then?
If you want to drop
Yeah,
it.
yeah. After we leave it there, I will leave it just between. Oh,
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna break it off so that the other people can't scamper across too, and I
Yeah.
it's left there discard.
Awesome.
But we still have my magus.
You do, yes.
Because I still have these.
So yes, you see these two as you scamper across the chain, and you'll get across. You Horatio, you hear first the, "What was that?" But I do think with the carnage you've been doing, I am gonna do a morale save for them first, because they have seen their boss go on
We
fire.
just see this cake on fire and moths circling.
Oh my god, what was that? So the first one actually passes. Oh, they actually did pretty well, and they're like,
No.
"Interesting," and they come around the corner, and they're like, "It's a mouse!" And they start sort of running towards you, all as you kind of hop onto the
It
edge.
says it's a mouse. I'll just go, where?
Can I tackle them?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So we'll go into rounds again. So this time, because you've seen each other, what I'm going to ask you all to do is a dex save, and if you
Oh, God.
succeed, you get to go before them, and if you fail, you go after them.
Do we all
So
do deck
let
saves
me-
then? Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
So that's going to just tell me if you're going to go before or after in the order.
I rolled a 19.
And so you failed. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I failed too.
I failed also.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I rolled a 12. What was that?
I got an
What
8.
is your dex score?
What's your dex?
10.
Oh, 7.
So you failed.
So I
I did too.
Oh, I
You have to
So
be
we all
below the
failed.
score.
That's right. That's right.
No, I
Oh.
succeeded.
Juniper
It's lower
has
than your
passed.
deck, right?
Okay.
Yeah, lower than your dex. And
You
everyone
have.
else.
I've failed.
Me
Miserably.
too. I got 13.
Okay,
My
so-
dex is 8. So,
Juniper, the least likely to fight, has succeeded in this.
Juniper's first, then it
Get
is
him, June.
Junior the shrew and colleague, shrew number 2. Get to have rolled their
Shrew
name,
two.
and then the rest of you will put Horatio first as you were charging in, and then
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay, so Blossom, you're up first in terms of being able to do something. You do not have to attack, of course. There's other things. So you're now standing on the end of the table behind the mousetrap board game box. There's like a little spiky hairbrush sticking out from behind the music box. You can see the music box itself. And then the shrews are coming from where the sort of cash box is behind the music box. So they're running around by that hairbrush towards you.
I'm assuming you meant
as well.
Juniper when you said that.
Sorry, excuse
Yeah.
me, Juniper, not Blossom. Sorry, there's too many flowers in this game. Yeah, Juniper.
We're assuming the shrews are intending to
Yeah,
attack.
they've
yes?
got their little like swords out and are running towards you.
All right. Well, she once she knows that she has to defend her friends, so she's committing to the bit, but she's going to be a little bit of a flair for the dramatic. She's going to play like a little, like the music they have in westerns
Yeah.
right before a duel.
Dun.
She's going to play that on her little lute, to amp herself up, and then she is going to take her mace and just fully commit to trying to take out whichever shrew is closest to her.
I think that's probably Junior who is molting. So you just
Oh,
hit.
God.
So you just roll to hit
What am I rolling? Sorry?
your weapon dice. So what sort of weapon?
So it's a medium weapon, so that's a D6.
So if you're in one paw, it's D6. If you're using both paws, it's a D8. But if you're playing your lute, I think it's probably one paw. So D6.
Well, yeah, and she used it to climb earlier, so I'm assuming it's a one paw.
Yeah.
Hold on. That will be a 5.
Nice. Okay. That goes into, so that gets rid of Junior's HP and into the strength.
Sorry, Junior.
So I'm going to roll to see if Junior stays up or not. Ooh, does pass. So it's like, ow! As your mace like crashes and like, and you see a bit of like the molt, like fur kind of like tufts off in a moment. He's like, that hurt, that did. I'll tell me dad about you. And then he's gonna you see that his sword is kind of glistening with something, and it's his go now, so he's gonna attack back at you, Juniper, for 5 damage in return.
Ooh.
So you take it first from your HP, and then if that gets to 0, it goes from your strength.
Okay, so Juniper has 11
Okay, so you're
HP,
fine.
so now she's down to
Great,
6.
you're doing fine. So yeah, slashes back at you. You feel a little cut on your fur, but you're fine. Then the other shrew, I think Junior shouts, it's like, get him, Figgy! And Figgy sees Horatio charging in and is going to run towards you with their sword out for D6. 4 damage.
All right.
So how is your HP?
Yeah, I have 8 HP, so I'm at 4.
Great. Okay, so yeah, you sort of clash your weapon with the sword and kind of manage to get out of the way. As Figgy sort of runs into battle as well. And then I think Horatio makes sense that you'd be probably first up.
All right. A sword.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
And again, this is just me like literally throwing things at the wall. If Juniper decides to have her lute and continue playing sort of like very inspiring battle music, does that assist her friends at all?
I will say if you want to,
Like, would that be like a +1 to their damage
not
or
this turn,
their
but if you
HP?
wanted to do it for next time as your action, you could, is what I'll say.
Mm.
Okay?
Good to know. Thank you so much.
Okay, so where were we? Horatio, yes. What would
All
you
right.
like to do?
I was like, a sword, that's a child's weapon. A real mice uses a hook. And I'm gonna, try to like panache, like hook the blade out of his hand, and I'm just gonna punch it in the snout.
Excellent. Okay, so
All right.
roll your damage.
Oh, I rolled 7.
Nice. And was that on the one that was attacking you, Figgy?
Yeah, that was
Okay,
Figgy.
so that goes into that. 3 maths. Oh, I'm gonna have to use calculator. This is too much. It's from 2 different bits, which is why I get confused.
Valid.
Here we go. So okay, cool. Okay, so it goes into Figgy's strength. You managed to get a good hit in. We'll see if Figgy has these up. They do not. Figgy goes down, is injured as you hook into them with the hook. So they're still alive, they're just injured, they can't move, and they're like down. But Junior is still up.
If we wouldn't mind,
and still fighting.
Could Blossom go
Junior's
next?
Can't stop what I want. Yeah, so it's Horatio. We've got Lily, Pearl, and Blossom still to go. So let's say Blossom, if you've got an idea, and then maybe we do Pearl and then Lily.
Sounds good.
I guess I just want to mostly just to acknowledge the raid that we got in chat. Hello. Their little tagline was "Every action has a reaction," and since they tried to attack us, this is the reaction. And Blossom's going to take their their spear and bop Junior on the head with it.
Wonderful.
That
okay.
is a 6.
Oh, they're not quite down, but they are not very well.
Perf. Lovely. And Blossom
and
just
like,
goes and doesn't use a sharp end of the spear, just goes bop, bop, bop.
Yeah. Little like cartoon stars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think should we say Pearl next?
Sure. Because it worked so well last time, I think Pearl wields this pickaxe, but not to distract this time. This time to attack with both hands. So that's a 8-sided. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you take the higher damage one.
Well, the good news is it's a 2.
Good. Well, the good news for you is that Junior only had 1 left. So, do you want to knock out Junior, or do you want to do Junior?
How vengeful are we feeling, gang? What do we think?
They haven't really done a lot to us.
Uncle Burdoc's
Yeah, no. We've kind of just gone on some sort of
Let's knock
screen.
them out. Let's knock them out.
As a monolith, they did lock Uncle Burdock in.
did,
That's
true.
true.
I almost died.
We also sicked moths on them, and we don't know what those moths are doing to them right now. So I think we've done some.
We'll knock out.
I'm just saying, maybe Uncle Burdock is supposed to walk. I've forgotten her name already. What's her name down the aisle?
Flaxy Little Whisker.
Let's knock him out, and we'll punish him for his crimes later, psychologically.
Oh no!
He'll know that he failed.
That's so much worse.
Yeah, is the failure inside?
He'll be real sad. Okay, so yeah.
Up so hard.
Arms out.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm freezing a little. Sorry, but yes, Junior is knocked out.
Love it. Excellent.
And Lily, as you're watching this all happen, you hear the tones of Keith Prickle wafting over. Now much closer because you're right by the music box, and you hear him now singing along to more of Nutcracker. Is there anything you'd like to do?
She is going to notice that the threat has been, what's the word? Detained.
Fair.
Yeah. So she's going to be like looking around for the glint and glisten of sparkly jewellery.
Excellent. So yeah, as everyone sort of wiped down your weapons, which we won't worry about weapon usage today because it's only one shot. You can see there is the music box, and now up close you can see Keith is sat in the jewellery box, dripping with fake Diamante jewellery as he's singing along. He's adorned himself, and there's little bracelets bracelets from like clothes accessories you can get, and like little Pandora bracelets and things, and more candy necklaces as well, and various other nice things which I have written down somewhere in the music box. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and like a big like candy ring.
Yes.
A ring
as
pop.
well.
Immediately
Which
makes
for a
me
mouse
mind
is more
for
like a
that one.
belt.
Yeah.
A belt with a huge like jewel.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But also you can
Good
eat the
Lord.
jewel. Wow, this is worth so much, at least 100 bips.
Okay.
Because it's so valuable in Mouth Society.
Does he have all of the
So she's-
jewelry on, or is there some that he doesn't have on?
No, he's left some of it out, but he's got like 3 bracelets around his tummy.
Nice.
Do we want to head out and say hello to our new friend?
Lily, you find it first as there's a wiping off weapons. So
Oh,
yeah, what does Lily do?
She's going to have a look and see what's in the box first, and then decide if she wants to accost Keith for some of his.
Yeah, you can see there's all these little bracelets and things. You can also see, I think, as you peek around, there's some like scrunchies on the floor, and then a little necklace that's kind of on like a ribbon, with like a little key on the end.
Ooh, now this looks like it might be useful. So I'm going to pick this up and put it in my backpack. And hope
It's 1 slot.
key necklace. And then just continue kind of rummaging through the rest of it. Great work, Keith. Absolutely
Oh,
brilliant. Yeah.
all right. I'm loving this. This is much nicer than guarded by the bins. And yeah, the rest of you have now finished. Sort of, yeah.
She's gonna start playing her lute to harmonize with the music box, just to give Keith some backup.
Yeah, he's like, oh, great. He bursts into another round.
Wonderful.
It's sounding vaguely, even though it's Nutcracker, it sounds also a little bit like New York, New York. As he's like lifting up his fedora. Somehow at the same time as well.
Can we pinch a couple of bits of jewelry, or while he's distracted singing, or can we like maybe ask him if he's good with us taking some?
Yeah. I think he's good with it. He's gotten some, and he's happy to
Perfect.
share the rest.
Yeah, I guess Blossom will definitely pick up some baubles and jewelry that they can like pick apart and turn into decorations and stuff. Maybe like, you know, you find those like kind of like rings and like earrings and stuff that have like those fake flowers and stuff on them that we can put in little vases or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Pearl and Horatio, I think, you kind of dealt some of the blows on Junior. Are you staying with the now unconscious Junior, or are you also joining in on the looting?
I'm berating Junior. I'm screaming at Junior. Junior, that's what you get, okay? You mess with mice, and this. Really think about it. Take a good look at yourself in the mirror.
I don't want to.
And I'm standing behind, just like doing the tough guy, just to reinforce every word. Just
Amazing.
I don't want to. Thank you.
Are you guys bad copping? Junior?
Yes, we're both bad copping.
yeah.
Gonna scare him straight.
He's like doing that thing, when like cats fall asleep and like one little tooth is out, and he's kind of like, I don't want to.
So cute.
But in a sort of like a slightly unconscious, dazed way.
Junior has no family left.
Well, you look across, I think as you're saying that, you turn and you see the moths are like chasing the sort of slightly smoking figures of the boss shrew. And it's like we're now jumping down, leaping as fast as they can into the rubbish bin.
We should maybe hurry up a little bit here, get all of our stuff together, and maybe skedaddle. It would be nice if we could pick up maybe a little bit of extra fabric on our way out, and if we can pick up some, if we find just on the way, if we see little bits of like, like little sausage rolls or like kind of like savory pastries, just like for more food for the thing.
Yes.
Juniper is actually going to keep an eye out for, and I don't know, because you said things usually have 3 uses. So I don't know if the treasure map would be helpful for this or not. But she's looking for, like, flexible wire, like copper wire
Sure.
or some kind of shiny, flexible thing to make little wedding rings out of.
Oh, cute. I think, okay, in that case, near the all of the jewelry and stuff, a lot of these are like beaded pieces. And you can see in like there's kind of like a little plastic box. There's like a big spool of like jewelry making wire that you can kind of grab as well. And like
Perfect.
I think as you're doing that, and Lily, you're still looking around, you're holding this like key as well. You spot the lockbox
I was
that was
just about to
behind
say,
the music box that the shoes
Lily's
were
going
on.
to take a detour before we head off
Yeah.
this table. Just to see if this key fits in that
For some
key-shaped hole.
treasure. It does indeed, yes.
Yeah. Just gonna be like,
to find. So yeah, you can carefully push it up. Pearl and Horatio, if you see it's quite heavy, you can give a hand.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
And it has some human money, which
Ooh.
is not particularly useful for mice, apart from as like little shields and things. Some these large papers with the picture of someone on, some giant, whatever. But you do also
this guy.
see a gobstopper, which will take up
Ooh.
2 slots.
Nice.
And you see some paper clips arranged into sort of like they've been kind of like linked together, and they form a sort of chainmail paperclip light armor.
Oh, okay. Sweet. I shall take that.
And let's also roll on some treasure. So Lily, if you want to, roll a d8. See if there's anything, and we'll repeat if anything. Let's roll it again.
I think it's 3 and 8 we've already hit.
Yeah.
I got a 6.
6. You see a little beat up, quite grubby Tamagotchi.
Yes.
Which has like a little keychain on. It takes up 2 slots because it's quite
Okay.
large. Would be worth 50 pips to the right buyer. And as you kind of like, you're like, what is this? Beep beep. As you tap it, it kind of fires up, and like the little like beep beep beep, the little Tamagotchi like creature comes on. It kind of like projects out into like a little hologram.
Oh, no.
And this is a good thing. It will act as a spell. The Ghost
cool.
Beetle spell specifically. So the Ghost Beetle spell, which I wrote this down before I tempted you with the key. So I wish this wasn't on purpose. Where's my magic page? I can't find it. Here we go. Ghost Beetle. So the way I'll tell you how spells work in a moment, but Ghost Beetle, its effect is it creates an illusory beetle, or in this case a Tamagotchi, that can carry 6 inventory slots for you roll a dice times 6 turns.
Oh, wow.
And so spells also have usage like other things, and the way that it works, to cast it, you need to hold the magic item in your paw, and you decide how strong you want it to be, which is the number of usage dots you want to use up on the spell. And you roll the however many you're like rolling, you roll a d6 for each slot you use. For any that use up roll a 4, 5, or 6, you mark usage, and if you roll a 6, then it sort of miscasts, and you have to you need to roll a will save. Otherwise, you might take a little bit of like magical damage.
Okay, so if I want to carry the armor, the gobstopper, I will need to use this now.
Right? Do you have armor on currently?
No.
You could put that on.
Because I got.
So you can put that on your body.
Oh, okay. So then I'll put the arm. She'll just like squeeze into the
light
armor.
armor goes in one body slot and your off paw because you've got a little like paperclip shield.
Yeah, and then she has to hold the Tamagotchi in the other one.
Yeah.
And then that means she can carry the gobstopper
in the backpack if
yeah.
you've got enough slots.
It means you'll have to put your
Yeah.
daggers away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody else could do the fighting. I'm just going to take all of these.
How's your will
Finders
score?
keepers. How's my what?
Will.
Your will.
7.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Casting will be fine.
Let's see.
Only if you
so-
get a 6.
Yeah, it's
So if
only
you
get a
want to
6.
do it for just, if you want to roll 1d6 for that number of turns, that would just be 1 usage, or you could roll 2 and use up 2 slots if you wanted to raise how long it can carry things for. But for reference, it's probably only going to take you like 2 turns to get back to the mouse hole.
Okay. So I'll just roll 1.
Up to you.
Okay, no, I'll roll 2. Just to be safe.
Plus, we might want to pick up some extra stuff before we get back, so maybe 3
Yeah.
turns of stuff. So.
Okay, I got a 5 and a 2.
7 turns.
Cool. Okay, so mark 1 usage.
Okay.
And you don't need to worry about will saves. And yeah,
Oh.
so it's going to, this little Tamagotchi goes beep, boop, 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 and becomes like a sort of like little hologram version. And it's going to be around for 7 turns, which is quite like a long while.
Wow.
Amazing.
And it just trots after you.
Quickly! Get some more stuff!
And yeah, it's got like little areas that as you put them in, it becomes solid and you can put items in it. So you've got 6 more slots for everyone to be able to use.
Great.
On our way back, then, I guess, Blossom anyway is going to at least take like scraps of fabric, like scraps of different colored fabric. Like hopefully like one inventory slot worth, or even 2, because I'll hold 1 inventory slot and I can give 1 to the beetle of just different colored fabrics, so we can like I can like swatch for the wife. I'm like, for the bride, I'm like,
yes.
So what theme are we going? What colors are we going? And also I wanted to make a purple little flower for Juniper.
Cute.
Yeah, you can kind
Love
of riffle
it.
through the pile. Horatio has pulled himself out of the music box, still with 3. Not Horatio. Excuse me. Keith Prickle has pulled himself out of the music box, covered in these bracelets, and he's like, "You still need a singer?"
Yeah, Keith, we do.
Yes.
Nice.
We would love, but you have to sing. Maybe skip New York, New York. More
That's
wedding.
favorite.
Oh, that's your favorite. Mm.
I mean, I can't do other
Juniper
ones.
desperately wants to form a band with Keith.
Ooh, all
Ooh.
mice get a treasure.
Wow.
Thank you for another donations. Wow, I actually probably don't have that many treasures left, but we can have a go.
I have no inventory left, so whoever wants to roll for me can roll for me if they want.
But we have
Oh, we have the beetle.
Tamagotchi carrier.
The Tamagotchi. I can make up more things. Do not
True.
worry. I've got a treasure table in here.
Also, if Junior does need a family, Juniper was ready to adopt him. Like, that's what she was thinking when she said Junior has no family left.
That's very true. You could reform this shrew. Should we treasure first, and then we'll decide on the fate of Junior?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's start with Charlie. Could Pearl roll a d8? If it's one of the repeat ones, I'll roll on my extended treasure table.
Yes. Give me just one moment.
So we've had 3, we've had 6, and we've had 8.
Roll an 8, you said?
A D8, yeah.
A d8,
Yes.
please. Yes.
I got a 5.
I think we got that one before.
5.
No,
Ooh.
we didn't.
You find peeking out from there's like a little pile of crumbs near one of the cakes, and you find a long bottle which is labeled vanilla essence. It's worth 2 slots, and it's worth
Absolutely.
it's worth 100 pips, because this bottle is so large it could last you all months and months as mice.
Nice.
I'm taking it, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
So that's 5. I'll go by people I think who haven't had one. So maybe Nikki, do you want to go next? So d8, and then I'll.
All right.
Get a repeat.
Let's go. I rolled a 5.
So we got that one. So I'll roll. Well, can you do a d6 for me?
D6. 3.
you find amongst the various jewelry a jeweled pendant, which fits in one slot worth 400 pips. It's very valuable treasure. It's like got a proper little gem set in it. How someone put this in a jumble cell, we'll never know.
Oh yeah. I'll keep it. Just pocket it away. Make sure no one's looking.
Yeah. And then it's for everyone. So next up we'll say, Monica, do you want to have a Juniper roll to find a treasure? So again, we'll do a D8, but if it repeats, we'll go on to the next bit.
7.
7. You find a... Sorry, this one was a joke for myself, which then I made earlier. But this one is a smaller version. It's like a set of like little wooden, ornately carved teaspoons, like measuring spoons, which are worth 2 spots. And for a mouse is kind of like a giant like staff. And there's like 3 of them kind of together, so you can like walk around with them. They'd be worth about maybe 30 pips. Then Eilish, do you want to have Lily roll to have a little look around? Make sure I'm keeping track. If I forget anyone, let me know.
Oh God. 3.
So we've had 3, so roll me a d6.
Bye. Oh, it's gone forever. 5.
5. You find some hastily scrawled shrew notes that have dropped out of the pocket of Junior as you're kind of like standing around thinking what to do with Junior, which grant rights to some of the shrew's like holdings and lands, which grants you the title. Yeah, it's like, oh, you recognise these. You were a noble mouse before you were a pauper mouse. These are, legal documents granting land rights to the holder. So you'll be able to cash those in to take over part of
I'm
the shrew
moving.
You're
town.
noble again.
Woohoo! It's a miracle.
So, no, Lady Lily Danger. Sir Lady Lily Danger. Just both.
So Lady Lily Ginger.
Pleased to meet you. And finally, Dahi, do you want Blossom to find something? So D8 start and then repeat.
Perfect. So was 4 got on the D8 yet?
No, it was not.
Perfect.
So you find amongst the board games, you know those like little hopper toys where it's like a little thing and a spring and you like push it down and it goes boing.
Yeah.
You find one that's like shaped like a frog. It takes up 1 slot. It will be worth 30 pips. But also, yes, it's very springy.
I'll put that in the beetle because I'm full.
Okay, and is that everyone? I haven't forgotten anyone.
I think so.
Awesome. So Tamagotchi laden down, Keith trailing along, covered in jewels. You're picking out little swatches. You can start to make your way back. Is there anything else left you want to do before you head back in time for
Don't think so.
setting up the party?
We're good.
Okay. So you're able to...
I think we're eager to get to the party
Absolutely. So yeah, you're able to make your way back down. You clamber carefully back down the clothes pile and back across the boxes and so on. Keith rolling along, clanking now with Jules' little Tamagotchi. Beep, 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 beep.
If
And
Blossom gets a second with Juniper away from Keith, I'm going to give her the candied necklace, but it's wrapped in a little purple bow. And I just say, well, I didn't want to do this in front of him, but Keith gave this to me to give to you as a little present for being so kind and getting him this gig. So here you go, and I give you the candied necklace.
Cute. Very cute.
She is flabbergasted and overjoyed. She'll give Blossom a little mousy hug. She is gonna take the purple bow and immediately put it in her hair, and both wear the candy necklace and nibble on it.
Cute.
Also, she already had a crush on Keith, but now, like, with the gift
Head
of the
over
candy
heels.
necklace, that's it. She's
Oh my
gone for it.
goodness. How beautiful a love story as well. So you are able to help your new friends. Keith carries down Uncle Burdock. We'll be back. Beep, beep, beep with the Tamagotchi. You're able to climb down and make it back to the mouse hole with plenty of time to spare as the night draws in. we cut to, as we finish up, a week later at a joyous wedding of Coriander and Flaxseed. Uncle Burdock is is able to officiate the ceremony, and Keith and Juniper, you're able to sing a beautiful song as they go down the aisle. And then there's a big party, of course, now laid out with various cakes. The cupcake, of course, being pride of place. Pearl, you have arranged it beautifully, having reconstructed it from your backpack. It's only a little bit squashed, but it's fine. Also, the ceremonial cake cutting made so much better by Horatio being able to contribute the fork to properly, dish it out to everybody. And everyone being very excited about the possible expansion of the Mouse Village thanks to Sir Lady Lily Danger's new land rights. And you've got beautiful decorations up and everything, and the glitter has made a beautiful the sequins make a beautiful disco ball for you all to start dancing the night away. I think with that seems like a good place to finish up our Mouse Ritter game. Hooray! Hope you all had a good time.
So fun.
And we've got just enough time. We'll gush in a moment.
The cutest thing I've ever done.
We'll gush in a moment. But what we'll do now, just to finish up, is because I didn't do it at the beginning, if you want to just mention again who you are and where we can find you, and maybe like one thing you want to talk about, and then we'll go hooray for D8, and we'll pass on to the next show. So hooray, that was very fun. I'll go then. We'll go around again, and if everyone could say who they are, remind us who you played, and then if you want to as well, we can find you as well. So we'll go same as again. So Charlie, would you mind starting us off?
Sure. I'm Charlie, and I played Pearl Butterball. I had to check on that last name. And I can be found all around the internet at Non-Binary Cowboy. If you're ever in Los Angeles, come find a live show that I'm at. But if you continue to live in another country than me, then I'll see you on the internet. Thanks for having me.
Hooray. Next up, I have Dahi.
Hello. Hi, I'm Dahi. Thank you so much, Philippa. Thanks, D8. I am found also on the internet, unfortunately, against my will, better judgment. Usually at the real Baron Zaya. That's why I'm over on Twitter. Just drop, or X or whatever. Just drop the H off the end of that. Also, I am on Blue Sky and Instagram as Dahi Design. I am a graphic designer. I actually designed this lovely little logo on the bottom right-hand side of your screen for D8 Dungeon. It was so much fun to create. I have for work, etc. And you'll see me on this channel again sometime very soon.
Hooray! Next we did Eilish. I think was next on my list.
Yeah. So I'm Eilish. I played Lily Danger, Sir Lady Lily Danger now. You can find her on the internet at Eily Cyrus. And yeah, I pretty much just hang out and pester Declan and ask to be in all of his D8 games. So you'll see me here. You'll hear me in the podcast. Sometimes I play NPCs. Sometimes I'm just shouting obscenities in the background off mic. But yeah, that's my jam.
Excellent. Monica, could you go next, please?
Hi, I'm Monica. I played Juniper. Thank you so much, Philippa and D8, for letting me join. This has been the most fun. And thank you to everyone who was with us in the chat and who donated. We're up to 2550. We're so close to 3,000. That's amazing. I am Miss Monica Awesome on TikTok. And hopefully I will be able to do more gaming and join more things. So maybe you'll see me here again in the future.
Hopefully. And last but by no means least, Nick.
All right, hello there. I'm Nick. I played Horatio Bater, our gung-ho bodyguard mice person. And yeah, you can find me on basically every social media as NickSnat1, the number 1. And not really appearing in a lot of other shows recently because I've just got a job that is a contract work that's basically a 9-to-5 job. But I am appearing in Critical Mrs. Thirsty Sword Lesbians game that should happen every Saturday, 8 a.m. GMT plus 8. I don't know what it is in other time, where we play basically a fantasy retelling of the Three Musketeers.
Oh, cool.
Ooh. very cool.
I love that system. I just got it. I'm
Excellent.
just so excited to play it.
That's going to work so well with Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Ooh. And yeah, I'm Philippa Mort. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Mort Philippa, including this coming week. I'm going to be launching my website, which is going to be philippamort.co.uk, where you're going to be able to get some of my games, which is very exciting. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky and Tumblr and TikTok and all of that jazz, usually under at Mort Philippa. Finally, thank you everyone for donating. It was wonderful to add those into the game, and yeah, I'm so pleased that we managed to raise some more money for Trans Lifeline. So hooray! Stick around because we've got a final game coming up, or maybe even more than one. I can't remember, but there's more games coming. So stick around. One more game. Maybe we can get to that next goal as well for lower track tattoos. And also we had the dice giveaway, which will be coming up in the chat, and you'll get messaged if you won that as well, I believe. So with that, we will say goodbye and thank you so much for watching, and stick around for more games.
Thank you so much, Philippa.
Bye.